ተመልሰናል ተመልካቾቻችን የምስራቅ አንበር ድሬዳዋ እየተመለከታችሁ ትገኛላችሁ ከትሪፓርታይ አግሪመንት ወይም ደግሞ ከሶስትዮሽ ስምምነት በኋላ ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ የባቡሩ ሀዲድ የተጣለበት ነበር ፈረንሳይ ጣሊያንና እንግሊዝ ስምምነታቸውን አደረጉ ከዛም በኋላ ይህ የባቡር ሀዲድ ተጣለ በምስራቅ አካባቢ እንግዲህ በርካታ እቃዎች እንዲሁም ደግሞ አዳዲስ ግንኙነቶችና ሐሳቦች ባቡሩን ተከትለው ይገቡ ነበር በነገራችን ላይ ይህ ባቡር ይንቀሳቀስ የነበረው በድንጋይ ከሰል ነው 120 ዓመት አስቆጥሯል እኛ ደግሞ ሄደንበታል በነገራችን ላይ እጅግ በጣም ደስ የሚል ጉዞም አድርገንበታል የምንመለከተው ክፍሌ አቶ ክፍሌ ይመስለኛል የሊግ ካምፓኒው ዋና ጻፊ ሌሎችም በርካቶች ዳኞች እንዲሁም ጋዜጠኞች እጅግ በጣም ደስ የሚል ቆይታ አድርገን ነበር እየተመለስነውና እጅግ በጣም ደስ የሚል ቆይታ በድሬዳዋ ያደረግን ነው የምንገኘው የደርቢውን ጨዋታም ስሜት አረሳ ነው ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ከቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጋር የሚያደርጉትን ጨዋታ ቀድመን ከጨዋታው በፊት እንግዲህ ሐሳቡን ያነሳን ነው የምንገኘው ዮናስ ካንተ ልጀምር እንግዲህ የደርቢ ጨዋታ ስሜቱን አንስተናልና በዛሬው ጨዋታ የሚጠበቁ ተጫዋቾች ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ ጌም ቼንጀር ምንላቸው ተጫዋቾች ስለዚህ እስኪ ያንተን ሐሳብ ልስማ
እንግዲህ ያው የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አዲሱ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑታል ከቡድኑ ጋር አንድ ጨዋታ ነው ያደረጉት በርግጥ አሁን በዚህ አንድ አራፊ ስለነበሩ ትንሽ የዝግጅት ጊዜ ነበራቸው የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ደግሞ በጣም የተረጋጋ በአሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያራገኝ ስር በዚህ ዓመት እድገት ያሳየ ቡድን ነው ስለዚህ በጣም የተዋሃደ ወይም ደግሞ የተሻለ መዘጋጃት የተለየ ከጊዮርጊስ የተሻለ የመዋሃጃ ጊዜ የነበረው ቡድን ከአዲስ አሰልጣኝ ከሚመራው ቡድን ጋር የሚደረግ ጨዋታ ነው ስለዚህ በእርግጠኝነት መናገር ቢቻለው ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በዛሬው ጨዋታ ይዞት የሚገባው ጨዋታ ነው ስለዚህ ይሄን ታሳቢ ያደረገ ስትራቴጂ ነው ዛሬ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ይዞ ሊገባ የሚችለው ይታወቃል ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በቢልድ አፕ ነው የሚጫወተው እነዚህ ይሄን ቢልድ አፕ በሃይ ፕሬስ በመስበር ራሱ አንዳንዴ ሃይ ፕሬስ እንደ ፕሌይ ሜከር ነው ይባላል እና የጎል ዕድሎችን በመፍጠር ጎል ለማስቆጠር ሙከራ ያደርጋል ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ከሜዳው እንዳይወጣ በአብዛኛው ተጭኖ ለመጫወት ጥረት የሚያደርግ ቡድን ሊሆን ይችላል ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በአንጻሩ ግን ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በአሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያራገኝ ስር ዘንድሮ እየተሻሻለ ነው ከኳስ ጋር ቢልድ አፕ ጨዋታቸው እየተሻሻለ ነው በፓስ በፕሮግሬሲቭ ፓስ ወደ ሜዳው የዋና የማጥቃት ክፍል የሚሄዱ ጥሩ ፓሶች አሉና በዚህ ረገድ በጣም የተሻሻለ ቡድን ስለሆነ ከፕሬሲንግ ካመለጠ እንደ አቡበከር ነስሩ አይነት ምንም አይነት ጎል ላይ ምህረት የሌለው አጥቂ ያለው ቡድን ነው ከጀርባው ደግሞ ታፈሰ ሰለሞን ጨምሮ በጣም በክሬቲቪቲው ከፍ ያሉ ተጫዋቾች ያሉ ቡድን ከመሆኑ አንፃር ከፕሬሲንግ ወጥመር ለመውጣት የሚደረግ ጨዋታ ሊሆን ይችላል
እንግዲህ ወደ አሰልጣኝ አስተያየት ነው የምናልፈው አሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያራገኝ ስህተቶችን ለመቀነስ እንሞክራለን ብለዋል እሱን አስተያየት ተከታትለን እንመለስ
ዝግጅቱ ሁሌ እንደምናደርገው ነው ከስተታችን ተነስተን ያንን ለማረም የሚሰሩ ስራዎች ነው የሰራነው በየጌሙ የምናያቸው ጠንካራ ጎኖች አሉ ድክመቶች አሉ እነዛን ነገሮች ከማረም አንፃር ነው ያው ሁሉ ጊዜ እኛን እንቅስቃሴ ታሳቢ አድርገን ስለምን እርግጥ ነው የተጋጣሚ ቡድኖችን እንዳላቸው የተጫዋች ኳሊቲ የምናስባቸው ግምት ውስጥ መንከታቸው ነገሮች አሉ ግን በመሰረታዊነት የራሳችን አጫዋት ስለሆነ እዛ ላይ እንግዲህ ስተት የምንለው ነገር በማረም ስራ ላይ ነበር
በተጫዋችነት በአሰልጣኝነት ይሄን ደርቢ በደንብ ታውቀዋለህ ስሜቱን ንገረኝ እስኪ
ስሜቱ ከፍተኛ ነው በጣም በተቻለ መጠን ሁሉንም ጨዋታዎች እኩል በሆነ መልኩ ለማየት ጥረት እናደርጋለን ግን ደጋፊው አጠቃላይ የሚሰጠው ክብደት ደግሞ መምጣቱ አይቀርም ወደ አንተ መምጣቱ አይቀርምና በተጫዋችነትም በአሰልጣኝነትም ያለው ኃላፊነት ከባድ ነው
በደረጃ ሰንጠረዡ እንግዲህ ከፋሲል ቀጥሎ ነው የምትገኙትና ሁለተኛ ቦታ ለመያዝ የዛይን ጨዋታዎች ያላቸው ዋጋ ምን ያክል ነው ትላለህ
ወሳኝ ነው በተለይ ከሁለተኛ በኋላ ያለነው ቡድኖች እኛ ባህር ዳር ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እንደገና ደግሞ ሀዲያ ተቀራራቢ ነጥብ ስላለ አንዳንድ ጊዜ የውጤት መጣል የመሳሰለው ነገር የደረጃ ለውጥ ያመጣል ስለዚህ ያንን ጠብቆ ለመሄድ በጣም ወሳኝ ነው ውጤቶች ወሳኝ ናቸው
እንግዲህ አሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያራገኝ ከጨዋታው በፊት የሰጠውን አስተያየት ነው የተከታተልነው በነገራችን ላይ በዛሬው ጨዋታ እንግዲህ ሀብታሙ ታደሰን ጨምሮ በርካታ ተጫዋቾች በዚህ ቡድን ውስጥ ሳይለወጡ ተካተዋል ማለት እንችላለን ስለዚህ የሚያሸንፍ ቡድን አብዛኛውን ጊዜ ቅርጹን እየቀየረ በጨዋታዎች እንደማይቀርብ ማሳያ ነው ከግብ ጠባቂው አቤል ማሞ ጀምሮ እስከ አስራት ቱንጆ እንዲሁም ሌሎች ተጫዋቾችን በዚህ ቡድን ውስጥ ተካተዋል ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በሱ የጨዋታ መንገድ እንግዲህ አማራጭ የሚሆኑ በርካታ ተጫዋቾችን ይዟል አሰልጣኝ ካሳ ያራገኝ በጣም ትኩረት ያደረገበትና ስለዚህ ጨዋታ ያነሳው በተለይም ደግሞ ስህተትን መቀነስ በእያንዳንዱ የጨዋታ ሂደቶች ውስጥ የሚፈጠሩ ክፍተቶችን ማጥበብ ነው የሚል አስተያየት ሰጥቷል። ስለዚህ የዛሬው ጨዋታ ስህተቶች የሚቀነሱበት ነው ወይ የሚለውን አብረን የምንመለከት ነው የሚሆነው። ጊልበርት after sacking Mahir Davis, St. George appoints Frank Nuttall. Will it be the proof point to the coach this game?
Absolutely, absolutely. After sacking Mahir Davis, of course, they bring in Frank Nuttall, expecting him to steady the ship. And this is a derby. And being a derby, I think Frank Nuttall comes with a lot of experience. I remember him with the Gor Mahia Football Club in Kenya in the seasons 2014-2015 and season 2015-2016, managing to beat their arch-rivals AFC Leopards on both occasions and winning the league with Gor Mahia on those two occasions concurrently. So in terms of experience, Nuttall has got very good experience. In terms of the players that he has on St. George, I think St. George can be able to produce two teams concurrently, and therefore it is about him picking his best squad and trying to get a point, 3 points out of this game this evening.
Okay. ወደ ሌላኛው ቡድን እንሂድ። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ እንግዲህ በዛሬው ጨዋታ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል የመጀመሪያውን የደርቢ ጨዋታቸውን ነው የሚያደርጉት። የአሰልጣኙ ዝግጅት እንግዲህ በተለይም የመጀመሪያ ጨዋታ አድርገው ሁለተኛ ጨዋታ ደርቢ ማድረግ እጅግ በጣም ከባድ ነው። ዮናስ ስለ አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል ስናነሳ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ውጤት መፈለግን አስበው እንደቀጠራቸው ነው ጭንቅላታችን ላይ የሚመጣው። ስለዚህ በዚህ ጨዋታ ራሳቸው ማሳየት ተጠበቅባቸዋል።
ራሳቸው ማሳየት ብቻ ሳይሆን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስን ወደ አሸናፊነት መመለስ ይጠበቅባቸዋል። በክለብ ውስጥ በተለይ ዘንድሮ የዋንጫው ነገር ያበቃለት ይመስላል። ስለዚህ ሁለተኛው ነው በቀጣይ ዓመት የኮንፌዴሬሽን ዋንጫ ተሳታፊ መሆን ያስፈልጋል። ስለዚህ በእነዚህ አጭር ጊዜያቶች ውስጥ ቡድን አሴምብል አድርገው ሰብስበው እሳቸው በሚመቻቸው መንገድ ቡድኑን በማጥቃት ላይ የሚጫወት ጎሎችን የሚያስቆጥር መከላከል ላይ በጣም ጥሩ የሆነ ቡድን መገንባት ይጠበቅባቸዋል በዚህ አጭር ጊዜ ውስጥና ዛሬ ከቡድናቸው የሚጠበቀው ማሸነፍ ብቻ ሳይሆን በጣም የተሻሻለ ፐርፎርማንስ የሚጠበቅባቸው ይመስለኛል። መከላከሉ ላይ ከወትሮ የተለየ ችግር ይታይበታል። ጎል ማስቆጠር ከያዛቸው በኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ቶፕ ከሆኑ አጥቂዎች አንፃር ጎሎች እያስቆጠረ አይደለም። አማካይ ክፍሉ ከወትሮ በላቀ በጣም ሚዛናዊ የሆነ የተለያየ ያጫወት ዳይሜንሽን ያላቸው አማካዮች ይዟልና የትኛውን የአማካይ ስብጥር መጠቀም አለባቸው፣ ኮምቢኔሽን መከላከሉ እንዴት ማደግ አለበት፣ ማጥቃቱ ላይ እንዴት ጎል ማስቆጠር፣ እነዚህ ሁሉም ጥያቄዎች ናቸው። ለዚህ ምላሽ መስጠት ከዛሬው ጨዋታ ጀምሮ መጀመር ያለባቸው ይመስለኛል ፍራንክ ኑተል።
አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል የሰጡት አስተያየት አለ። ከጨዋታው በፊት የደርቢ ጨዋታ እንደ ሌሎች ጨዋታዎች ለይቼ አላየውም፣ ሌሎች ጨዋታዎችን እንደማደርገው ነው መዘጋጀው ብለዋል። እስኪ እሱን አስተያየት ተከታትለን እንመለስ።
Yeah, preparations have been good. We've had a good chance to recover and prepare for this game over the last 10 days or so, and the players have been very focused, and it's gone well so far.
Have you had a chance to watch the Sugar Derby before?
I've watched some highlights and I've watched some videos, so I'm aware of the significance of the game for the fans and for everybody connected with the clubs. Of course, it's a big game, but to be honest, I regard every game as a big game, so it's just it's par for the course, it's normal. But of course, we want to make sure that we come away successful and win the game.
How does a derby feel for a coach?
As I say, it's we know the significance for the fans and for the supporters and the people connected to the club. But as a coach, it's every game is important. So this is the next game, regardless of who you're playing, and you set out to be successful and to win the game.
What kind of playing approach are you going to use today?
Well, same as always. Go and try to win the game.
እንግዲህ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ተጫዋቾች በዝግጅት ላይ የዛሬውን ጨዋታ ለማድረግ በርካቶችን አግኝተዋል። ነገር ግን ለውጦችን አድርገዋል። ከነአን ማርክነህ በቋሚነት እየተሰለፈ ነው የሚገኘው በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊሱ ዋና አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ኑተል አማካኝነት። እንዲሁም ደግሞ ሃይደርም በዚህ ቡድን ውስጥ የአማካኝ ቦታን ይዞ ነው የሚገኘው። አቤል ያለው ሌላኛው በቋሚነት አሁን ከጉዳት ከተመለሰ በኋላ እየተጫወተ የሚገኝ ተጫዋች ነው። ስለዚህ ይህ ጨዋታ በተለይም ደግሞ አሰልጣኙ እጅግ በጣም የሚፈልጉበት እጅግ በጣም ውጤት ማምጣት የሚጠይቁበት ጨዋታ ነው ማለት እንችላለን። እጅግ በጣም አመሰግናለሁ ዮናስ ስለነበረን ቆይታ። ቴንክ ዩ ጊልበርት።
Absolutely.
We will come back in the second half.
No problem.
እናመሰግናለን።
It's okay.
በቀጥታ የምንሄደው እንግዲህ ወደ ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ተጫዋቾች ከጨዋታው በፊት ስለሰጡት አስተያየት ይሆናል።
ያው ለጨዋታው በጣም ተዘጋጅተናል። ሁላችንም ጤነኛ ነን። በአሁኑ ሰዓት ለጌሙ ተዘጋጅተናል። እኔም ሁሌ የምገባው ወደ ሜዳ ስኮር ለማድረግ ውጤታም ክለባችን አሸንፎ እንዲወጣ ነው ማድረግ እንፈልገውና ይሄ ሁሌ ዝግጁ ነኝ። ያው እኔ ሁሌም ለተጋጣሚ ክብር አለ፣ ግን በጨዋታው ሁሌም ማሸነፍን ለመውጣት ነው የምንፈልገው። ያን ለማድረግ ደግሞ ሁላችንም ዝግጁ አድርገናል፣ እናሸንፋለን።
ለደርቢው የተሻለ ወይም ጥሩ ጌም ለማድረግ ዝግጁ ነን። ዛሬ ውጤቱ ለሁለታችንም አስፈላጊ ነው የሚመስለን። ያው እነሱም ከፍ ለማለት እኛም ደግሞ ከነሱ ለመራቅ ስለሆነ ሁለታችንም ጥሩ ፉክክር እናሳያለን ብዬ ያስባለሁ። ማለት ቃል መግባት ሳይሆን እኛ አሸንፈን መውጣት ነው የምንፈልገው። ይሄን ነው ማለት የምንፈልገው።
ከባለፈው የተለየ የሚሆነው ያለንበት ደረጃ የጨዋታውን ክብደት ይጨምረዋል ብዬ የማስበው። ምክንያቱም ሁለተኝነት ደረጃን መያዝ ጥቅም አለው በአሁኑ ውድድር። ምክንያቱም የአፍሪካ መድረክ ላይ ያሳትፋል። እኛ አሁንም ከዋንጫው ርቀናል ብለን አናስብም። ምክንያቱም ወደፊት ካለው ፕሮግራም አንፃር ነጥቦች መጣጣል ሊኖሩ ይችላሉ የሚል እሳቤ አለን። ያንን ታሳቢ አድርገን ወደ ሜዳ እንገባለን። ነገር ግን ቅድሚያ የምንሰጠው ይዘን ለምንገባው አጫወትና በምን መልኩ ብንጫወት ማሸነፍ እንችላለን የሚለውን ነው ቅድሚያ የምንሰጠው።
የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ተጫዋቾች ስለ ጨዋታው ቀደም ብሎ የሰጡት አስተያየት አለ። እሱን ደግሞ እስኪ ተከታትለን እንመለስ ተመልካቾቻችን።
ግምት ያለው ጨዋታ ነው። ነገር ግን ያው ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በአንደኛ ዙር ያስመዘገበውን ውጤት ዛሬ አያስመዘግብም። በእርግጠኛነት እናሸንፋለን። ለደጋፊዎቻችን ብሎ ያንን ነገር ነው ለማሸነፍ ነው ወደ ሜዳ የምንገባውና በእርግጠኛነት እናሸንፋለን የዛሬውን ጨዋታ።
ያው ያን ለመመለስ የመጀመሪያው ጨዋታ ላይ ያው እንደተጀመረ ነው በቀይ ወጣብንና ያው በጎዶሎ ተጫውተን ነው እንደዛውና እነሱ አሸንፈውናል። ግን ያው የአሁኑን ጨዋታ ወንድ ልጅ ሁለቴ አይሸነፍም፣ አንዴ ነው በሚገባ እናሸንፋለን። ያው እኔ ጎል ማግባቴ አይቀርም። ምክንያቱም ደደቢት ላይ ያለው ሁሉ ያገባባቸው ነበር። ያው ጊዮርጊስ ከመጣው በኋላ ለሶስተኛ ደርቤ ነው መሰለኝ ዛሬ ሶስተኛዬ ነው እና ሁለቱን በተከታታይ አላገባውም እና ያሁኑን ደግሞ ያው በእርግጠኝነት አገባለሁ።
ብዙ ነገር አዳዲስ ነገሮች አሉ። አንድ ሰዓት ጨዋታ ነው። ድሬዳዋ ላይ ነው ጨዋታው። ያለንበት ሁኔታ ደግሞ ሞር ውጤት ሁለታችን የምንፈልግበት ሰዓት ነው። ስለዚህ በጣም ብዙ የተለየ ነገር ስላለ አሪፍ ጨዋታ ይሆናል ብዬ አስባለሁ።
ያው ዘንድሮ ትንሽ ለየት የሚያደርገው በደጋፊ መሀል አይደለም ይሄ ጨዋታ የሚካሄደው። ከዚህ በፊት በነበሩት ጨዋታዎች ያው በደጋፊዎች ታጅቦ ነበር ጨዋታዎችን የምናደርገው። ግን አሁንም ቢሆን ያው ከኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጋር የምታደርገው ጨዋታ ደጋፊ ባይገኝበትም የደርቢውን ስሜት ያቀዘቅዛል የሚል ግምት የለኝም። ምክንያቱም የሁለታችንም ቡድን ተጫዋቾች ያው ትርጉሙን እናውቀዋለን በደርቢው ጨዋታ ላይ ያለውን ነገር ማለት ነው።
The city of love and peace, that is Dire Dawa, has got a very well flood-lit stadium that looks like a jewel shooting out of the desert city at the Dire Dawa International Stadium. And that is where, for the very first time in history, the Shegar Derby, the Ethiopia Buna versus St. George match, is going to be played outside of Addis for the very, very first time. It's a befitting ceremony as well in which this game is going to be played on. Unfortunately, the pitch has been rained on earlier on and has got those muddy patches. The dark patches that you're seeing will represent the most difficult of places to be able to play the ball from. But that is not the issue in this game. Derbies usually overcome all the other challenges and live up to the expectations. And that's what we expect today as well. You will have noticed in front of them as they're walking onto the field that there's drops of rain coming out. Head-to-head since 1997 and 98 is very well placed out for you there. 41 games played. Only 7 have been won by the Ethiopia Coffee side, and St. George has won them 41 times. So Ethiopia Buna has won it 41 times. So that's going to be a very big statistic. Well, I'll take that again for you. 18 times on the Ethiopia Buna side is the correct statistic, and 7 times for the Ethiopia Buna side. There's been 16 draws. The number of goals that have been scored by Ethiopia Buna in this derby is 27 and 51 on the St. George side. Those are the other statistics. The other statistic is when we get onto the field of play now. Astra Tunjo has scored recently and is going to be in defense again for the Ethiopia Buna side. And the man you'll be watching out for, the only man to score a hat-trick in the derby is Abubakar Nasser. Now, this man's goal tally now has gotten to 22. And he will be going slightly ahead of everybody else to try and score other goals in this game today. And might just go over that as well. The match officials in the center, Biamlak Tasema, international referee. Kinde Muse, international assistant referee. Temesgen Samuel will be the second assistant referee. And then you've got the fourth official, an international fourth referee, Emmanuel Haile Selassie. I'll tell you as well, Temesgen Samuel is also an international referee, so they've been preferred for this clash. Up at the front here, Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael will be expected to bring the crosses. Getane Kebede is right at the center of it, and then Abel Yaleo will be on the right side. Kenyan Markne has recently gotten onto the goal-scoring chart as well, and Aida Sheref has found place in the first team again. Frimpong Mensah is there, Muluale Mesfield as well. In defense, there will be Mintesinot Adane and Ashley Otamene as well to help. So they brought out their A-game in this match. They've got a full substitutes bench as well. Ethiopia Coffee have previously used Ndale Debake, who was actually scored for the side as well. Yasu Tamiru has also gotten play before. Emmanuel Ioannis, Addis Fisher. They've got literally everybody they want on that side. And they also have Yesbira Tesfaye on the St. George side. Gadisa Mibrate, Abel Ndale, all on the bench. And all men who might come into play anytime now. Frank Natal is the Scottish coach of the St. George side. And Kasai Arage is the Ethiopian coach of the Ethiopia Buna side. It's going to be a little bit of what tastes better for you. The Buna or the St. George, and in football terms, who gets the better of the other? Well, one to be remembered, that photo there is Abel Mamo gets to be very, very acquainted with the area in which he will be playing for the better part of the first half. Actually, it won't change. The captaincy today has been given to Abubakar Nasser. And the man who's leading from the front every time will be the man again preferred to be able to score goals here for the Ethiopia Buna side. I tell you, every moment you get into a derby, you get overtaken by even the rapture of the occasion. The words refuse to come out. The statistics sometimes get jumbled because you expect a very big match to come from the two sides. Now, I was telling you about the men to expect to do duty up at the front. We're going to the 1 minute silence for the former General Secretary of Ethiopia Coffee Club, who passed away 3 days ago. That's in memory of Getachew Yosef. Rest in peace. He passed on 3 days ago, and that's why we have 1 minute of silence here on Derby Day. That's the man in focus, whichever way you look at it, regardless of the state of the pitch. Very technical player who's very, very adept at what's going on. Today he's got international referee Biamla Tesemera, the center as well, to watch over this game. Now they come on it, of course, with a backdrop of very mixed, results. For the Ethiopia Coffee side, they've won 3 out of the last 5. They lost 1, and 1, 2, 3. The last 2 actually out of 5 in the last 5 matches that they have played. Not a very good one for them, especially because they were chasing the Fasil Kenema side. And on the St. George side, they drew 3 of their matches, won only 1 and lost 1. Not a very good statistic as well. The field will wreak havoc on the way the game is going to be played today, but still it's got to be played. It was played on, of course, earlier today by the other 2 teams. Fasil getting another 3 points out of that, so then it says that everybody else can be able to play on it. Marcos Elias and Jonas Azeza will take you through the commentary now. Marek, you can choose the language option you want. I am Bernardo Tieno. I'm in the company of Gilbert Celebwa to preside over this derby for the very first time in history, being played outside of the city capital, Addis Ababa, and being brought out to the east to Dire Dawa International Stadium. They're going to be very careful about the way they handle the match today. Even as Ethiopia Buna brings in the feed, they're trying to bypass the midfield. That dark patch, Gilbert, will be a very difficult part to play in. How does that affect the derby? And does it change the way it's going to be played?
Well, I think we've just seen a team, 2 teams playing on this field, that is Ethiopia Buna and Fasil Kenema, in a few minutes ago, and therefore it just depends on which team out of the 2 will definitely get onto the scoreboard by mastering this pitch very quickly.
Well, the sooner you master it, the better it will be for you. This one is going to be given as a foul here on the right side, and it's going to be for the St. George side. By now you do know the colors. Ethiopia Coffee plays in the yellow and black. The St. George side has got a little bit of yellow as well, but it totters around the orange and then into the deeper orange. They're going to get a free kick off the right side of the field. Yeah, the tension usually, and a lot of psyching up is required to play in the derby. They say the statistics don't matter in the derby. It's the 90 minutes on the field that matter. And a drizzle is going to be coming down of it as well. You know that face, don't you? Getani Kebede. When you see him looking like that, you know he's already spotted where he's going to go to. And the ball being slippery needs just the right kind of energy to be able to beat the goalkeeper. And it's happened before in this kind of situation. It's got to be obviously Getani Kebede. That's a decoy who's holding onto that ball. It's got to be better on the right foot going towards the goal area. Mr. Tesema has already arranged the man in there. Blows the whistle now. Oh, well, he decoys everything else. He takes a post here on the right side of the goalkeeper. So we also get thrown off balance here, thinking Getana Kebede is going to be the one taking it. They've recovered to pick up the loose ball. Now it's coming out. This is going to happen a lot in this game, Gilbert.
It did happen.
Whichever way you look at it.
It did happen in the first half, and that's a well-calculated ball from the left foot there, and it bounces. That's good goalkeeping, because if he had not touched it, it would have headed into the net.
He had a touch on it. Yeah. It's slippery. It's still drizzling, and it's going to come down like that most of the time. Well, the team that will settle faster in this game will be the one that will actually dictate the pace here. But I think they want to conserve the energy, because when you've got a heavy field like this one, it takes a lot of energy to run on a muddy pitch. Take off, like we said, is very difficult as well. You know, just control, even taking a corner is very difficult. A lot of things happen in this game. But it's going to go back into the midfield. Pushed onto the side by Mulualem Tesfin. Looking for where to go to on the left side. Well, I think curiously, there's a few men on the field who we previously didn't think were going to be in the game altogether, but we'll give you that clarification in a few minutes. This comes back into the defense for the Ethiopia Buna side, a very technical side. St. George have a new coach in the Scottish coach, Frank Natal, who's handled the Hearts of Oak before in Ghana, has handled Gormaya as well, and was most recently with the Township Rollers. This was looking for a touch here. There's, I think I do spot Henok Adunya on the other side, on the on the St. George side. So it's going to come back to the Ethiopia Buna side. How do you think they're going to organize it, Gilbert? We have to look at the formations.
Well, I think it's going to be very evident, Bernard, that Ethiopia Buna like building the ball from the back. And for them to be able to build the ball from the back, they need a good surface. The surface does not permit them to be able at least to play that kind of football. On St. George's side, they have players who can be able to move with speed. That is Jaleo Abel on the right-hand side and Emmanuel Gebre-Mikael on the left-hand side of the attack. So I think they will definitely go into the wider areas.
Well, looking for a chance for a shot here. It doesn't come. Ethiopia Buna looking like they're struggling to try and get onto that ball. The reverse fixture of this one was in favor of Ethiopia Buna, 3-2. And so St. George will be raking for a revenge here if they can be able to execute it. This is pushed off the field of play categorically by the man in defense there. Yeah, Bitkal Fereja. A throw into St. George. And probably some of the most solid men in that defense would be this one of them. Abebe Tilahun sends it onto the left side. They will encounter Gadisa Mebrate on that side. Another man who, incidentally, wasn't on the team sheet. It's back into the midfield. They're trying to use the spaces they've got. Heno Kadunya cuts this one out. And then it's picked up in the midfield. And Emmanuel Gebre-Mikael is expected to be the one who's running that midfield. That patch is very difficult to play on. They try to get a through ball here. It's gone to Abubakar Nasser. He leaves it behind. Oh, well, this clearance and the deflection almost going into the net here. It goes out for a corner. There's a little bit of a challenge on that decision, but you and I can see it a second time as Abubakar leaves it behind. Well, that clearance then should have been going out for a goal kick for sure.
Yeah, he was trying to tag the ball along with him, but with that muddy patch, Abubakar Nasser needs to understand that his technical ability will not help him much in this particular game, especially in that muddy patch. He needs to work a little bit faster.
It's the only way he knows how to play, so it's going to take a little time for him to adjust how he's going to be playing it. I think that he's already decided what's the best course of action here. As again, the first instance in which some medication is going to be applied on here early enough. This is that instance again. He went in there, but he couldn't pick up the ball because of the difficulty in navigating that. I think this should have gone out for a goal kick, in my opinion, as well. But it's going to be given out for a corner instead for the Ethiopia Buna side. William Solomon tries to push it forward. And a quick run off by Gadisa Mebrate. And he's got everybody else just running after him to try and get the better of him. Only he pushes it a little bit too far, and Wodmene Dereja then cuts it out. The derby, Gilbert, the derby outside of Addis Ababa.
Well, whether it's played on the moon or in the air or out of the country, it still remains a derby. And that is why there is a lot at stake for both sides to at least run away with this one this
You're
evening.
saying even if they played it on the moon?
It doesn't matter where you're playing it, it is a derby.
Do you think they would allow fans to be at the stadium in the moon or something? I don't know. It would be. I wonder what they would look like. I would be very interested in that. I would offer to do commentary for that as well. The bouncing of the ball is going to be very erratic. You've got to master how it's going to be happening. And Abubakar Nasser is still the fast-footed player, Gilbert. Never mind the fact that he won't have all his 100% technical qualities in this. The space he will get in the better playing side of the field is the one he will use.
Yeah, and especially coming from this youngster, that is Mikias Mikenon. He's always been the provider in chief for Abubakar Nasser. Alongside Solomon Tafese, the man donning number 5. These are the source of what Abubakar has always been at the end of the game.
Pringpon Mensu has cut it out. Got a free kick in the process. Gonna go back into the midfield with Yebital Fereja trying to get onto it. This is Astrat Tunjo now, and they're looking for the wing play that might just serve them better on that side, because the left side of the attack for the Ethiopia Buna side is a better side. You see the ball bouncing and just sleeping on top, and occasionally not getting to the person for whom the pass was intended, because the water slows it down. going to be a foul. This will be given to St. George. The guilty man is Wandimene Dereje, right in front of the referee. Yeah, for that tackle, then the St. George side will get a free kick and a chance for them to be able to change things here. So they're organizing themselves just outside. This time round, it looks like Getani Kebede will be the only one to take it, although he's got a man closest to him there, Ashale Otamene, but he's moved away from it.
That's a dangerous spot, Bernard. Dangerous spot. For...
And a dangerous look as well.
Yes.
You see him there just doing his calculation. Wait to see how Kebede will do it. A four-man wall has been mounted there. I think he's going to go directly. He's in a good position for a shot as well. He knows the area that the goalkeeper is in is a little bit slippery. Lifts it to the corner. Ebel Mabo again puts his hand to it to deflect it. This is going to be a corner. That's a well-taken shot and a well-taken save as well by the goalkeeper.
Well, that man is on 11 goals right now. It's a well-calculated shot. Power behind it. It's carving towards the far corner. But again, you must thank Abel Mamo for that reflex action.
It's going to be a left-footing swinger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the St. George players are in that box. I think the field will give them an even chance to be able to overrun a technical side. Very well carved into the area. It takes the post and it's in the net. Well, it's been scored by Ashale Otamene. The goalkeeper, of course, is flat-footed. He's wondering where the defenders were. Ashale Otamene rises above everybody else to first hit it on the post and deflects it. Frank Natal wouldn't show on his face, but he's happy about the fact that they're leading this game now. In the 12th minute of the game, St. George take the lead here from the most unlikely of quarters. From Ashale Otamene. A defender here, well-floated corner, Gilbert.
It's a well-floated corner, and again, you want to thank Otamene for coming from the back post in a position where there was no one, there was no yellow shirt around, and he redirects that ball to the far corner of the net. What a way to start this game for Otamene Ashchalu, who has scored the first goal in the league.
Well, it's 1-0 through Ashale Otamene, rising above everybody else. The question is, who was marking him? There was no one marking him. St. George 1, Kofi 0 in the 12th minute of the game. And now we have the derby proper. Usually when a goal comes into this game, then it lights it up completely and starts it playing. Frimpong Mensu will remove it totally from his area. He's looking for those empty spaces on the right side. He wants that to be able to be used for the runs.
Absolutely, Bernard. And I think that those are the kind of tactics that St. George is going to employ in this particular match.
The wing play.
Yes, they have a lot of speed on the outside. Abale Yaleo on the right-hand side and Emmanuel Gabriel Michael on the left-hand side. This is a good challenge.
And they have a coach who loves that kind of game as well, the wing play. We know from when he was coaching Gorbaya as well. Just recently came from the Township Rollers. And it's probably his technique to be able to get the better of the technical team. Comes to the right side now to Yabikal Fereja. He's looking for Solomon in the midfield. Finds him. They're avoiding that area totally. The ball refuses to move on that side. The honest truth is that the St. George are on the advantageous side of this field. There's more playing surface on the left side, on the side they're attacking for the St. George side, than there is on the side that the Ethiopia Buna side is attacking. But those are statistics, because they're going to get their chance in the second half as well. It's just how you master it that will help you move forward. They're looking for where to play it. It comes to Abebe Tilahun. He's got to navigate a little bit of a watery and muddy patch as well. But he decides to put it onto the wing. This is very well floated onto the left side. And Tadese does not disappoint. He's waiting for a return ball. Comes to Bakar Nasser. No, it's not going to get it that easily. It's not one of those days. This one is a very fair tackle, and he pushes the ball off the field of play.
I like his tactical awareness. He knows that there's somebody coming right behind him, and his quick feet just takes him off. But again, he decides to go down, and you will not dupe the center referee on this one.
It's on television as well, so it's not going to work out that way. This time round, he doesn't get it. No. Is it body contact? No yellow card. It's going to be a free kick. Had somebody giving some instructions there. I don't know who that is. But you had it. It's valid instructions. Is there any body contact? No. So there's no yellow card there. Here is a good chance. Coming from the left side. It's carved towards the center. But it doesn't get as far as it was intended.
It's a good run, Bernard.
And a big run on the left side by Gadisa Mebrata. He's turned to that left side. He was waiting to get somebody else in the middle there to be able to connect it, and he doesn't get it.
Actually, Magna Kenan was right in that position. But again, you want to thank Abebe Telahun for just coming in at the nick of time to send that corner.
5 men in the box in the orange jerseys waiting for the delivery. It's a very low one, very easily cut off, looking for a shot to pump it back towards goal. That doesn't come. Here is Solomon with all his hard work. They want to start a quick one. Just notices a man behind him. Yeah, the field is going to do that a lot to the players. The control is going to be very difficult. Sometimes the passes will not get there. Sometimes you will think you're going to get to that ball and you won't.
Well, they need to contend with that condition. That is what they got. That is what they have to use for the next 75 minutes on the clock. And as soon as you manage that part of the field, you're in a better position to get a positive result out of this one.
Just back into the midfield. Bebe Tilahun almost losing it here. They're laboring to try and get the ball out of their area, the Ethiopia Buna side. That's why Abubakar comes so far. The flag stays down here, but Kebede doesn't take off as quickly. Morris sent further up at the front by Redouane Nasir, who again manages to try and get back onto this one, picking it up. An advantage play has been given to the Ethiopia Buna side. Do they have the numbers up at the front? Well, they've got Abtamu Tadese out on the left side. A left-footed, well, standing onto his right foot, tries to bring it to the center to Tafese Solomon. It doesn't work out. I got 16 minutes of play, and Redouane Nasir now feels a pinch because of, I think, this tackle. He went in so hard there, and he comes to feel it on this other side. You've got to measure the amount of energy you're going into a tackle with in these conditions, Gilbert. You will not fall in the direction you expect to control yourself in.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think Emmanuel Michael coming in very strongly against Redouane Nasir.
He's got a good statistic at 60% of accuracy. I don't think Frank Natal will be worried about that much. He's more worried about what they need to get here, and he's wondering why there was this big run that came from the left side that didn't go in.
He wasn't selfish. He wasn't selfish, Manuel Gabriel-Mikhail, trying to find Merkana Kenan with the return pass.
Oh, they're playing one man less because Redouane Nasir is on the ground getting medication. Abubakar Nasir tries to bring in the cross. It's put in a corner and pushed out of there by Ashale Otamene. Doesn't get a chance to. He's got to start back with the goalkeeper Baru Negash of the St. George side. They had about 10 days of rest, the St. George side. They actually did leave Diradawa and head back to their camp in Addis Ababa and arrived just about a day ago in readiness for this clash. And I think that Ethiopia Buna might have been also preparing themselves in a similar fashion to be able to merit a very good clash in the Shegar Derby. This is controlled well out of the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And Kadunya, the right back that usually loves to roll, might just find these conditions perfect for him. He loves to run in this kind of condition.
Yeah, and in fact, on the right-hand side of the attack, he's got some nice patches on that side to be able at least to execute his traditional runs.
Yeah, he just did that. Tries to bring it across. Sayarage is backing instructions at his team to be able to hold tight. As it goes back again to Ebel Mamo. Nasir has recovered back onto the field of play. They're going to start it on the left side again. This should be Asrat Tunja who's pushing it. And he probably will be looking at finding the help of Abtamu Tadese on the left side. They form a good combination on the left side of the attack, but they don't bring the ball to anyone else. It's come back into the midfield. Emmanuel Gabriel-Mikhail losing it. It's a difficult patch to navigate. That patch is very hard to play in. Slows you down completely. you've got to watch out for yourself so that you don't slip and break something. And on top of that, you've got to find out where the ball is going, know just how much power you're going to put on it, the speed that you need, the calculations must come into it. Now, that doesn't happen very quickly when you're in that place. It's a spirited effort to try and get it out there, but it doesn't work out well. It should be Redouane Nasir was trying to move it up forward. But Buna will pick it up again. This time round, a foul will be given to Amu Tadesse. He's going to get a free kick. It's the most difficult side to play on, Gilbert. No doubt about it.
Yeah, especially on the right-hand side, it's very, very difficult. It's very muddy. And it tells you that there's been a lot of action, especially from the previous match.
Nasser just wanted to find to face the Solomon, lifts it into the area, but Barunegash will have an easy time picking it up. Not troubled at all by it. Let's start a quick one for the St. George side. This is Manuel Gabriel-Michael. He's managed to get the better of his marker. He's navigating the turns really better than everybody else, but he's got two men who are marking him. Maybe they can bring a better one this one. The Tane Kebede doesn't rise high enough to meet that ball. And that will count as a chance that has been lost. And you wouldn't get many of these chances in a game like this, Gilbert.
Well, it's a good ball there from Abdul Karim. He actually waited the ball, but again, with the slippery pitch, it would have been mostly impossible for Kebede to get a good takeoff.
Doesn't rise high enough. He lets it roll on the other side. So this is going to be a throw-in for the Ethiopia Buna side. They're running the possession here. They've had 61% of possession and 65 in the 21 minutes that have been played now. That's probably slightly more than half of what the St. George side has had. But St. George have the goal, and you know, unfortunately, the game of football, it's the goals that matter. Long ball down on the right side. Ebo Mama will pick that one up very easily. It did develop a little bit of speed when it bounces, so you're gonna have to watch how the ball and the aerodynamics of it are on a slippery pitch with cool wind, actually. Adunya. Through ball, lovely taken by Emmanuel Gabriel-Michael. He fails to beat the goalkeeper. Getane Kebede, Ebo Mama puts his hand, he'll push it out for a corner. It could have been taking the side netting if he had left it all together. But this was the best for Emmanuel Gabriel-Michael.
It's a nice setup by Adunya on the right-hand side, but again, Gabriel-Michael should have done something out of it. I expected a little chip from him, but then he decided to play the ball on the ground.
Could have rounded the goalkeeper if he wanted. He had his own player on the right side, so he had the luxury of going there or even releasing the ball there. But a lovely ball by Adunya, knowing that one of the players would have been on the offside. He does a diagonal pass. It's a corner now. Lifted into the area. I think there's going to be a foul on the other side. But the big men were joining in there, including Frimpong Mensu, the Ghanaian on that side. He fails to head it in, Gilbert.
There's some very good deliveries from Emmanuel Gabriel-Michael. And he's trying to find the man on the back post, which is totally not marked. And they should be able to utilize those opportunities that come their way.
If he had put that ball in the net, we would have seen that credit on his side. But he missed to put that ball in the net, so he's going to be judged by that one for now. Until he does something better. St. George have 6 goal attempts altogether. And they've scored from one of them. 4 on target. It's a good statistic on the St. George side, at least in these opening minutes of the game. 23 minutes in total now. It's going to be a foul that will be given to St. George. It's eliciting a little bit of a complaint. You don't do this when you've got an international referee here. It puts you in trouble because he'll penalize you for playing the ball after the whistle. It's going to be a goal kick, rather a free kick to St. George. Yeah. Like I said, you don't do that to an international referee. Biamlak Tasema just tells him to push it slightly back and start it from where the foul was committed. Actually, Tamen pushes it forward. Redouane Nasir chases it right out of the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. It's going to be for the the Ethiopia Buna side. 7 times Ethiopia Buna has won it. 18 times the St. George side has won it. Never mind the fact that the Ethiopia Buna side is doing much better than St. George this season. They are in the 2nd position on the log. The goalkeeper has been waylaid. He was going to hold the ball. It's a handball outside the box here. And Bamlak Tesema is wondering, what are you going to tell me? The goalkeeper will fade an injury, will look like he's injured. The big question will also be why they didn't get the better of the goalkeeper.
And why was he injured in the first place?
Well, and he's out of his line as well. So this is it again.
It's a good run. I mean,
tries to pick. He's lucky he didn't pick up the ball. But now he does that, he's going to be penalized. It's either a yellow or a red card. Abel Mamo is very lucky to get a yellow card. He's handled the ball outside his goal area. Goalkeepers get very harshly penalized when they do such things.
Yeah.
He's very, very lucky.
He's very lucky.
It's going to be a kick from the left side. Just a yellow card. I mean, he will say he took one for the team by getting that yellow. Otherwise, usually, handling the ball outside of the box is a red card offense. Tesema is standing his ground here. And it's going to be taken from the left side. 2 men getting ready to take it. And Markner should have done a better job at that time. Now they have to do all the calculation, organize it, you know, think about how far it is going on the other side, how many men to put there, just how high to lift it. It takes a block all the same. This is back into the midfield. Abubakar Nasser is not even moving. He's waiting there.
Well, that was a good run by Markner. He goes past Abel Mamo. He should have reacted swiftly by placing the ball at least to somebody who was coming. And Mamo, in this particular instance, decides to take one for the team. That was going to be a good pass from Markner. And he gets a yellow card for that infringement.
Well then, Mamo is lucky to have gone through that one. So it's a water break now, and we're gonna wait for them to come out of it and find out exactly what they're doing and what plans they need to bring in as well. There's been a couple of changes on the team sheet, and we've been dealing with that right through. But 15% of the time the ball has come to the St. George side, and 24% has come on this other side. And that tells a story of the attacks going more on the Ethiopia Buna side than anywhere else, Gilbert.
Yeah, absolutely. St. George have decided to play what we call power play. They're really not having so many balls in their backyard. As soon as they get possession of the ball in their defense line, the first pass has been a diagonal pass to either Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail or Jaleo Abel on the right-hand side. So clearly, they are up for a very, very hard time, Ethiopia Buna, because they want to build from the back, and the field does not really permit them to do that.
Got into the net coming from Asjaleo Tamene. The scoreline now at 1-0 in favor of the St. George side. They got the bragging rights in this one. They've scored a good number of goals in this as well. And sometimes you compare exactly how these two teams are matched, and you think that St. George is probably the better one. They have 16 Super Cups compared to 5 Super Cups on the Ethiopian Buna side. But they all have their own accolades as well. Ethiopia Buna, for example, is the only remaining member of the new league format. They've got their biggest win as 5-0 against Sidama. On the other side, the St. George side is the oldest club in Ethiopia, established in 1935, and also the most successful club. Their biggest win was a 4-2 against Adama in this season. They still have a couple of matches remaining towards the end as we go closer to the business end of things. It's going to be a throw-in for Ethiopia Buna. Yeah, slippery conditions again make it very difficult. Eno Kadunya will send it forward, but the St. George forwards have not organized themselves. Gilbert, let's talk about some technicalities now, about the formations and how they are panning up in the situation we have on the field.
Well, I think the formation is very simple, Bernard. Both St. George and Ethiopia Buna are playing a 4-3-3. Of course, with Ethiopia Buna having the two Solomons as the two attacking midfielder and Adwan Dasid as their holding midfielder. On the side of St. George, they have Mulwale Mesfin and Makana Kenan as the two attacking midfielders. Of course, with the wide players Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail and Yaleu Abel to support Gitane Kebede at the top.
First time that the Ethiopia Buna side is trying to pressurize from the right side. It's going to be difficult to get that ball to Abubakar Nasser if they don't find a proper way of getting out with it. Now they have a chance. Redouane Nasser leaves it to Solomon. This is William Solomon. Adunya cuts off that angle and gets a loose ball on the right side. There's two of them on that right side, including Gadisa Mibrate. They bring it back to the center. Some good hard work done there. This is up for offside. Some very, very good organization in trying to get that ball up at the front, but they're not watching the line. And even by the time Abebe Tilahun was trying to cover, they'd already gone out for they'd already gone into an offside situation. There you have it on the left. Two players conspicuously on the offside. Kasaya Rage might not be a very happy man. It's clear off for a corner, this one. In the nick of time, off the feet of Gadisa Mibrate. This is what you do when you have a chance, Gilbert. And when you've got the better side of the field, you can only exploit the chances when you have those chances.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because in the second half, it's going to turn, and it will be on the other foot.
Yeah, you're right, Bernard. The right-hand side of the attack for St. George is the best part to play the football. And therefore, if they don't utilize the opportunity now, they might rule their chances in the second half.
A left-footing swinger, nicely floated into the area. The goalkeeper does the right thing to punch it out. And Ethiopia Buna looking for going for a fast break. But they don't have the numbers in the midfield to be able to do that. Maybe that's a better way to deliver it to Solomon William. Oh, he tries to get it in front for Abubakar Nasser. It would still have been a very difficult deal to do that, Gilbert, because there's Frimpong Mensu and there was another defender just trying to close in on Abubakar.
I think the timing is was of excess. The timing was of essence. The little Solomon got a good ball, but he was not able to find Abubakar Nasser.
It's being marked by two people, Abubakar Nasser. And that alone tells you that they know his prowess up at the front. That is a good shot. It dips in the right time, and then calms it down very easily. But that's a hard shot, harder than most of the ones we have seen in this game so far.
Oh, it is. It's what we call a surprise shot.
It is a surprise shot, but it went directly to the goalkeeper. I think he's also surprised. Yeah, it's a double surprise. Yeah. He's also surprised that it was in his hands because it came in too quickly. But Ebo Mamo has been tested. When you've been tested a lot in the game, your reflexes are 100% higher than the goalkeeper on the other side. Baru Negas is probably still enjoying himself, thinking about when the action will begin in this game. Although we've played already 33 minutes. It's going to be a foul, this one. That will be given to Asrat Tunjo. The boots would tell you a story of men who have come from battle. Here is the shot again, Gilbert.
Haida Sherefa, good technique, very adapted to the situation. The ball was actually deeping. And as you have mentioned, Abel Mamo equally surprised by that shot.
Aida Sharef has since become a very important component of the midfield of the St. George side. He's shown a little bit of confidence as well. This is pushed forward. Too much Gulbat on that ball. Mikias Mekonnen doesn't get to it. Oh, the technicality of the game is obviously very affected, but then the physicality of it and just the energy of it is what is keeping it going. Barunegas quickly removing it. It's set it out by Wanmene Dereje in a cautionary measure, just to make sure that he doesn't get caught up with too many orange shots pushing at him. This one is over the bar here. Getani Kebede going to it very well to try and get a header for it. But there was Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail on this left side, Gilbert.
Yeah, there's a realization by St. George that when it comes to, balls being floated in the penalty box, there is very, very poor marking from the Ethiopia Buna side. Yeah. So they're taking that advantage to good effect.
Well, they better. And they better do it now in this half. When it changes, it's going to be on the other foot. Well, Abubakar Nasir has decided to come into the midfield to try and pick up the loose balls. Mikias Mekanen, very timid shot that he takes to Baronegash, who says thank you very much. And he will start it from his side. Very, very hard running in the last 34 minutes of the game. And in as much as we thought they would be avoiding some parts of the field, well, they've tried as much to do the best when they can, when the ball goes to those areas. It's not bouncing at all in some places. Abebe Tila plays it back to 1 minute Dereje. Now they're beginning to look at their options, right and left. They're even going to the center. Abubakar Nasir is veering slightly back into the midfield to give them an option of changing where they take the ball to. Otherwise, the initial plan was to rely on him, and everything was going to be rotating around him. St. George Adunya was already in that rolling position on the right side. A low cross, cleared off for a throw-in. Bebatila wanting nothing of that kind of ball coming in his direction.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He took it with a mean intention.
Oh yeah, it's a good cross, and of course Bebatila coming in at the nick of time, and you can see the reaction.
No, you would think Bebatila is playing for St. George. I mean, the reaction. I think he should be doing that when his players don't pick up the ball. Is when you get Frank Natal going into a reaction like that. Something happened here. The offside flag was up. It's going to be given to the Ethiopia Buna side. 3-2, they won it in Addis Ababa in the first leg of the Ethiopian Premier League that has had the matches being moved around the country. At least 6 or 5 rounds of it started in Addis Ababa and then went down south to Jima, then went all the way in the opposite direction to Bahar Dar, and has now come to the eastern side to Dire Dawa, to the city of love and peace. There's going to be another round, another set of rounds being played, and that will be in Hawassa. Well, the very first time in the game when we see Abubakar Nasir complaining about a tackle that came to him. And he says that he was elbowed. Mr. Tasema says, look, I will be controlling the game. He says the captain. Of course, the armband is in honor of the General Secretary of the Ethiopian Coffee, the one on the right side, who passed on 3 days ago. The information filtering in and then occasioning, of course, a 1 minute silence. That's the one he's complaining about, and he's right about it.
It's a foul from Frimpong Mensah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a foul. You know, the only problem with football, Gilbert, which is changing soon, is that if the referee doesn't see it, it has not happened.
Absolutely.
That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But now the good thing is the assistant can bring it to the attention of the referee, and even if the ball was going out on this side, he can still be penalized for it. He can be given a card for it. But they won't get the free kick, of course.
So what you're saying, Ethiopia Buna needs that change as quickly as it can happen.
It's already happening.
Oh, ASAP.
No, you can be penalized even now, I mean, for a foul, but the ball will continue on that other side, as long as the fourth official or the assistant has brought it to the attention of the referee. So even refereeing is changing, and of course with communication gadgets in the ears of the officials, it's become easier. Getane gets a free kick here. Oh, that's a very hard tackle by Bebatila, who risks himself getting a card. Kasaya Ragin knows he shouldn't have been doing that, and that's why he's asking, why are you doing that? I mean, that's danger that you're putting ourselves in. Gonna be a free kick for the St. George side. And I don't know exactly who's gonna be taking this one, but a few men are angling for it here. This is taken by Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail. Is he the specialist in this one?
Well, they decided, I mean, today Kebede decides to be the decoy and allows Emmanuel Gabriel Mikhail to try his luck from a distance.
Yeah, his luck doesn't stand out. And again, it's going to be Ethiopia Buna. They're still running the possession. for good measure. Good speed coming off Mikias Mekkonen and to William Solomon, who's decided to remain as clean as possible in this game. Hasn't had much that is coming in his direction. They're still trying to take the attention away from Abubakar Nasir, but he was still getting himself in a good position to try and get onto that ball. It's a good ball control by Ashile Otamene, and it's headed back by Abebe Tilahun. You're playing the 40th minute, Gilbert. Give some advice to the players here.
Well, I think St. George are stuck to their tactics. They want to get the ball quickly away from their defense line and utilize the wing play to be able at least to permeate that Ethiopia Buna side. For the Ethiopia Buna side, they want to knock the ball with short passes even into the box and into the 6-yard box, which has really let them down this afternoon. I think they need at least to take some shots from a distance to see whether they can be able to judge Bahr Negash.
You know, there's a song with that title, Gilbert. That's From a Distance.
From a Distance.
No singing.
I just told you I know the song.
I know the song as well.
So what are the implications of the song?
No, the implication of a song that you know is not that you sing it. That's not the implication. No, stick to your day job, Gilbert. This is going to go to Ebo Mamo. It's going to be a throw. It's going to be Mamo starting it on the left side to Abebe Tilahun, who's looking for the options in the midfield as well. Bikal Ferreja was waiting for it to come to him. It doesn't. You have to look for a different way of getting the ball to Abubakar Nasir. He's standing provider, trying to get the ball to the center. Well, for Kadisa Mebrate, did in timings run well. Very easily taken away from him. And it's going to be a throw-in that is going to be given to the St. George side. I think they thought that they would get a foul on Abdamu Tadese, but that doesn't go that way. The coach knows that the game should go on. Abdamu Tadese has got to get onto his feet. This is how it stands on the log at the moment. Fasil has already opened up a very big lead against Ethiopia Coffee. Now, some moments here that will bring the tempers in this. We'll get to see exactly how it started. The assistants, of course, know exactly who it is. This ball goes to Adunya. That's a very unnecessary tackle that comes off and sparks a little bit of a war here, because it is of Solomon. No consequence. It's not of anything. Tafeza Solomon just does it intentionally. And so Adunya was annoyed at it. The goalkeeper is also getting involved in it, Baru Negash. And you know what happens in a game of football sometimes? Everybody gets into it. There's going to be people in trouble here. Yeah, Tafeza Solomon for sure. Adunya for starting a little bit of the fight there. Bamlak Tusema has informed them of what they have done. And a yellow card. And he's let to know exactly what the reason is. I think they asked for a sportsmanship gesture as well. Zeno Kadunya also gets a yellow card for that beat that almost turned into a boxing match here.
Well, Bernard, this is about bragging rights. And when there is something at stake of this stature, you will definitely see the derby coming into light. And therefore, Eno Kadunya, you know, with that tussle against Tafesa Solomon, earns himself a yellow card. And that calms them down in the process.
Well, you hope it does.
It does calm them down.
We've still got a couple of minutes here. It's Frank Natal who is scratching every bit of hair on his head, almost out of it, thinking what dangers he's facing there. But he seems happy with whatever he's got at the moment.
He's happy. He's happy.
And I think we got some casualty out of this one as well. Yeah, Ashile Otamene. Happy to see that he's back on his feet there. This will be given to the St. George side for a restart. We've had a good game, save for that one moment of madness that everybody got involved in. They have enough men to warm up on the sides hoping they will bring them in. I think Emmanuel Terfu is one of them, still warming up there. But I don't think they will see them in this first half. It probably is going to be in the second half. Would you make any changes if you had a chance now, Gilbert?
Well, I think both sides, they're playing according to the instructions, if I'm not wrong. And it's just a question of who has managed the field better.
Well, Adunya is taken over now. Looking for a chance for a cross from the left side. Abtamu Tadese is doing all the speed work. But Adunya recovers to mark him. Edouard Nasser places a through ball on the left side. They'll get a corner for that. The deflection coming off Enoch Adunya. It's the added minutes of this game in which they are going to be taking this. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men in the box. The corner is going to be taken on our right foot. It's a low one, easily cleared. And then the St. George side try to come out with speed on this one. It's going to be a foul. Pushing off here. A foul will be given to the St. George side. Gilbert, your last comments before I let you go off to the touchline where the comments were coming in about your coat. No, good comments about how good it looks on television.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My coat.
I'll show you. I mean, they sent me messages to tell you, the coat is looking very nice.
Well, I think it's proved to be a real derby. I mean,
every billing of it.
Every billing of it. The style of play for Ethiopia Buna intact. The style of play for St. George intact.
And I think today the added challenge has been the state of the field.
Yeah.
That now brings out the real challenge on the players. So they can bring in their A game plus a little more than that. I'm just going to let Gilbert stroll down to the touchline. It's quite a pity you can't see his shoes. Very well polished, wet look on the shoes. I'll talk to the camera and see whether we can get a shot of that as well. Well, it gets back into the midfield for the Ethiopia Buna side. And they are looking for the best touches to be able to bring the ball back properly to their position. Again, occasionally it looks like they're just beating the time before the halftime whistle. We played 2 minutes of the added time. We still have one more. The scoreline is in favor of St. George, who are in the 5th position on the Premier League table standings. And they have 27 points. The Ethiopia Buna side is way ahead in the 2nd position with 33 points. They have been chasing the Fasil side, who today have opened up another 3-point lead. So they have a total of 12 points ahead. But the derby doesn't take cognizance of all these things. And that's why St. George is leading in this game here. While the Ethiopia Buna side is still struggling to be able to get the ball to Abubakar Nasser. Abu Mamo has been forced into 2 very big saves in the last 47 minutes that we have played. But happily he has not disappointed. It's going to be a throw-in. And this will be the whistle for halftime as Abubakar Nasser was taking control of that one. It's been brought to a very good end by the centre referee, Biamlak Tesema. The scoreline in favour of the St. George side. It's got all the billing of a derby, inclusive of the added challenge that has been thrown to them in the state of the pitch. This one left the unmarked defender, Asile Otamene, soaring above everybody else to put the ball past Ebel Mamo after he takes the post and rallies back. At halftime, it's Coffee nil, St. George 1. It's a Shegar derby, the very first time in history that is being played away from the Addis Ababa.
ተመልሰናል ተመልካቾቻችን የሸገር ደርቢን ጨዋታ እንግዲህ በድሬዳዋ የተከናወነ ይገኛል። የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ 45 ደቂቃ ተጠናቋል። 1-0 በሆነ ውጤት እንግዲህ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ባስቻለው ታመነ የግንባር ኳስ ተጠናቋል። የመጀመሪያው ግማሽ 45 ደቂቃ የጨዋታ እንቅስቃሴ እንዴት ነበር የሚለው እንግዲህ አብረን ቆይታ የምናደርግ ነው የሚሆነው። በአማርኛ የጨዋታ ትንታኔ ዮናስ አዘዘ with me in English ጊልበርት ሰለቦዋ አብረን ቆይታ የምናደርግ ነው የሚሆነው። St. George start the game with intensity.
I think that is exactly the game plan, that they knew that Ethiopia Buna would like to knock the ball around, they build from the back through the midfield. But the terrain today does not allow Ethiopia Buna to play the kind of football that they like playing. And you look at St. George, they've decided that they have very good players on the outside. That is Gedisa Mebratu on the right-hand side of the attack. They also have on the left side, of course, a very good player in Gabriel Michael, Emmanuel Gabriel Michael. And of course, at the top, they still have the top scorer, Getane Kebede. But the man that has really been key for me in this particular game is Markana. He's the one who's providing the feed, he's winning the balls in the midfield, and then he's feeding the outside channels very, very well.
ዮናስ በመጀመሪያዎቹ እንቅስቃሴ ነው እንግዲህ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ጫናዎችን መፍጠር የጀመረው በተለይም ደግሞ ሄኖክ አዱኛ ያለበት ኮሪደር በጣም ጠንካራ ነበር።
ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የመጨረሻውን ሳምንት ረፍት ነበር። ስለዚህ አሰልጣኝ ኑታል የሆነ ሚኒ ሲዝን ፕሪ ሲዝን ነበራቸው ብዬ ነው የማምነውና ቡድኑ በጣም ኢነርጂው ከፍ ብሎ ፍላጎቱ ጨምሮ በዛ ላይ ደግሞ ፊት ሆኖ ነው የመጣው። ከዚህም በተጨማሪ ለዚህ ጨዋታ የሚያስፈልገው የጨዋታ ስትራቴጂ በሚገባ ነድፈው ነው የመጡት ጊልበርት እንዳለውና በጣም የተሳካ እንደውም ከጠበቁት በታች ጎል ያስቆጠሩበት የመጀመሪያ አጋማሽ ነበር እንደነበራቸው ብልጫ።
ዮናስ የመጀመሪያውን ሙከራ እንመልከት። ጋዲሳ መብራቴ የሞከረው ሙከራ ነው። ይሄ መጀመሪያ ጨዋታው እንደጀመረ መሆኑ በጣም ወደ እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ እንዲገቡ አድርጓቸው።
ኳሱ ከአቤል ማሞ ፊት ነው የነጠረው ብሎ የግንቡን ካለፈ በኋላና በተለይ በእንደዚህ አይነት ሲቹዌሽን ሜዳው በጤዛ ነው ወይ ዝናብ እየጣለ ነውና ኳሱ ከፊት ለፊቱ ነጠረ። ለማያዝ በጣም ያስቸግራል። ብረትን ይገጨውና ድልኛ ነው። ምናልባት አቤል ትንሽ ኳሱ ሳይነካው ይቀራል መሰለኝምና በጣም ጥሩ ሙከራ ነው ጋዲሳ ያደረገው።
What do you say about this attempt?
It's a good set piece because it's got power, it's got direction, and very, very good technique that has been applied by Gedisa Mebrato on the left-hand side of their attack.
በእንቅስቃሴ እንግዲህ ሌሎች ሙከራዎችም ተደርገዋል። በዛሬው ጨዋታ የመጀመሪያዎቹ 45 ደቂቃዎች ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊሶች በተሻለ ወደ ጎል ለመድረስ የሄዱበትን እንቅስቃሴ ነው እየተመለከትን የነበረው። Let's talk about this attempt.
Well, I think you've seen Getane Kebede in very difficult matches, and he's very, very good on set pieces. For him to have scored 25 goals in a season when he was with Dedipit, and most of them came from set pieces. So he's not the kind of player to give those kind of opportunities. He's got very good technique, he's got very good power behind it, and I think he's a dead ball specialist.
Okay. ዮናስ ወደ ሌሎች እንቅስቃሴዎች እናልፋለን። ወደ ጎሉ ነው የምንሄደው። አስቻለው እንግዲህ ጎል ይፈልጋል። በተለይም ደግሞ ተከላካይ ስትሆን መከላከል ብቻ ሳይሆን ጎሎችን ማስቆጠር አለብህና ስለ አስቻለው የዛሬ የጨዋታ መጀመርና በጨዋታው ያስቆጠረውን ጎል እናውራበት እስኪ።
እንግዲህ አስቻለው በመጀመሪያው ዙር ጨዋታ ጊዮርጊስ በተሸነፈበት ጨዋታ የነበረው ፐርፎርማንስ ድካማ ነበር። ዛሬ ግን ከማዕዘን ምት የተሻገረ ኳስ ጎል ማስቆጠር ችሏል። ትክክለኛ ጎል ለማስቆጠር የሚያስፈልገው ፖዚሽን ላይ ተገኘው። የጋዲሳ መብራቴ ማዕዘን ምት ጥሩ ኳሊቲ ያለው ነበር ግን ጎሉን በጥሩ ሁኔታ ነው ያስቆጠረው። ተመልከት የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ተከላካዮች ይሄንን ኳስ ለመከላከል የነበሩበት ፖዚሽን በፍጹም ካስቻለው ጋር አንድም የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ተከላካይ በቅርበት አልነበረምና ፍሪ ሄደር ወይም ደግሞ በነጻነት ነው የጭንቅላት ኳስ አግኝቶ መረብ ውስጥ ያሳረፈውና ጥሩ ድንቅ ጎል ነው። የኢትዮጵያ መከላከል የኢትዮጵያ ቡና የመከላከል ወይም የቆሙ ኳስ መከላከል እንደዚሁ ጥያቄ የሚነሳበት ነው። ይሄንን በሐዋሳም ተመልክተናል። ታስታውስ እንደሆነ በሐዋሳ ሲሸነፍ ኢትዮጵያ ቡና የቆሙ ኳስ መከላከል ተስኖት ነበርና ድንቅ ጎል ነው አስቻለው ያስቆጠረው። በመጀመሪያው ዙር ፓትሪስ ማታስ በቀይ ካርድ በወጣበት ጊዜ እሱ ደካማ ፐርፎርማንስ ማሳየቱ ነበር ያ ነገር የተፈጠረው።
Gilbert, what kind of confidence it gives you when you score in the defensive line?
Well, I think if you look at the last match, St. George lost by 3 goals to 2. And it's because they lost Patrick Matas in the first game. In this particular game, they knew that for them to be able at least to get their confidence levels up, they need to get on the scoreboard quickly. And you want to blame at one point the Ethiopia Buna defense line for not having a 1-against-1 marking in that box and giving Tamene a very easy chance to be able to knock the ball home.
In the game, Amanel is very accurate and going forward. This attempt is Amanel. Let's talk about the Amanel attempt.
Well, I think Emmanuel has got very good run, and you talk about the feed that is coming from him.
He's a wizard,
and that is actually Adunya. That is a split pass. He collects it very well on his left foot. He should have gone around the keeper and tried to at least to hit the target. But again, he's quick to place the ball, and I think you must thank Abel Mamo for coming in at the nick of time to close him down.
በጨዋታው አቤል በጣም ንቁ ነበር ማለት እንችላለን።
ምንም ጥያቄ የለውም። ዛሬ በቢልድ አፕ ወቅት ኳስ የሚቀባበለውን አቤል ሳይሆን ያየነው ሾት ስቶፐሩን አቤል ነው ያየነው። በትክክለኛ አደገኛ ቦታዎችን እንቅስቃሴዎችን አንብቦ ራሱን የሚያዘጋጅበትና ፖዚሽኒንጉ በጣም ጥሩ ነበር። ያው የአማኑኤልን ኳስ ያዳነው ትክክለኛ ፖዚሽን ላይ ስለተገኘ ይመስለኛልና ንቃቱ ጥሩ ነው። የጨዋታው አነጋጋሪ ነጥብም እንደዚሁ በመጀመሪያው አጋማሽ የትኩረት ማዕከል የነበረው አቤል ነበር። ያው ተመልክተናል።
አቤል touched the ball out of the box. Can you say he's lucky?
He's very lucky. I mean, the referee is an international referee. He's very lucky because once you're out of the box, you're a goalkeeper. You have stopped the player from making an advancement to the goal. Look at him. He goes around the keeper. That is Magner.
He touches deliberately.
He touches deliberately, and the referee was lenient there. He should have received his marching orders, and he should be going out to the showers.
What about Abel's timing? His timing was poor.
Well, his timing is poor. You see, Magner realizes that Abel is 1 foot short, and he just, at the nick of time, he steps in with his right foot, picks the ball away from him, and Abel, in the event of recovering, he realizes that he cannot be able to do anything, get back to his box, and decided to handle the ball. That is denying an opponent a good scoring opportunity, and should have been a red card.
Okay, so it shouldn't be a red card.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's lucky.
He's very lucky. He's very lucky. He should thank his gods, and he must have woken up on the right side of the bed.
What's the problem with Ethiopian coffee in the first half?
I think Ethiopian coffee have decided to sit, knock the ball around. You see the surface; it is soggy in some places, and therefore it does not permit Ethiopian coffee to move the ball around. They like building the ball from the back, so that has been a problem. And secondly, as soon as the passes go wrong, because all the passes are aiming at Abubakar Nasser. They need to find somebody else to play as a decoy, because Abubakar Nasser has been marked out of this game
to be the second option.
Yes, they've given him the armband for the captain. There's a lot of pressure on him, and I think they need to find another route to be able at least to break down that St. George side.
ቁጥሮቹን እንመልከት እስኪ ዮናስ። ቁጥሮቹ በደንብ የሚገልጹት ነገር ያለ ይመስለኛል። ኢትዮጵያ ቡና አንድ የግብ ሙከራ ብቻ ነው ያደረገው፣ አንድ ኢላማውን የጠበቀ። በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል 9 ሙከራው 9 attempt with 5 accurate attempt። የኳስ ቁጥጥሩም እንዲሁ ስንመለከተው ብልጫውን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ይወስዳልና እስኪ እንመልከተው ቁጥሩን እስኪ።
የትልቁ ቁጥር እንግዲህ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ነው። ኢትዮጵያ ቡና ከፍተኛ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ብልጫ ነበረው 62%። በዚህ የኳስ ቁጥጥር አንድ ኢላማውን የጠበቀ ጎል ሙከራ ነው ያደረገው። ኢትዮጵያ ቡና የኳስ ቁጥሩ አብዛኛው ጊልበርት እንዳለው ከራሳቸው ሜዳ ነው የሚጀምሩት። የተሳኩ ፕሮግሬሲቭ ፓሶችን ወደ ፋይናል ስር ለመውሰድ በጣም ተቸግሯልና የሚያሳየው ኢትዮጵያ ቡና በተሳካ ሁኔታ ወደ ተጋጣሚ ግብ ክልል ለመድረስ እንደሚቸገር ነውና በዚህ ሁሉ የኳስ ቁጥጥር የጎል ሙከራ የለውም። በአንጻሩ ጊዮርጊስ በጥቂት የኳስ ቁጥጥር በርካታ የጎል ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል።
Let you see the attack analyst Gilbert.
Yes, there's a lot of attack that has been coming from the St. George side, especially through the midfield, with 50% of most attacks through there. So it just shows you that they are in control of this game, despite the fact that they only have 28% of ball possession against 62 for Ethiopia Buna. It just depends what are you doing with that percentage.
እስኪ በሁለተኛው ግማሽ የተጫዋች ለውጥ ሊኖር ይችላል ይሆን? ስለዛ እናውራ።
ኢትዮጵያ ቡና እኔ ያጫወት መንገዱን ይቀይራል የሚል እምነት የለኝም። ይሄ ያጫወት ቡድኑ በየሳምንቱ የሚጫወተው እግር ኳስ ነው። ምናልባት የጊዮርጊስ ይሄ ኢንቴንሲቲ ይሄ ፕሬሲንግ ሙሉ 90 ደቂቃ ይቀጥላል የሚል እምነት የለኝም እና ምናልባት ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ይበልጥ ሙሉ 90 ደቂቃ ፕሬስ ማድረግ ስለማይችል ይበልጥ ወደ ራሱ ሜዳ በሚያፈገፍግበት ጊዜ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ያደረጉ ወደ ተጋጣሚ ግብ ክልል ሊደርሱ ይችላሉ። ከዛ በፊት ግን ተጨማሪ ጎል ማስተናገድ የለባቸውም። ከዛ ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሙሉ 90 ደቂቃ በዚህ ኢንቴንሲቲ መጨረስ ስለማይችል ይህን የጎል ልዩነት ከያዙ ራሳቸውን ወደ ተጋጣሚ ግብ ክልል ሊያገኙ ይችላሉ ብዬ አስባለሁ በፖሴሽን።
Thank you guys. Thank you Gilbert.
Absolutely.
Thank you Jonas. ተመልካቾቻችን እንግዲህ ሁለተኛውን ግማሽ ጨዋታ እንድትከታተሉ ከወዲሁ ጋብዛለን። በአማርኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት ዮናስ አዘዘና ማርቆስ ኤልያስ፣ በእንግሊዝኛ የጨዋታ የቀጥታ ስርጭት በርናንዶ ቴኖና ጊልበርት ሰለባ ይጠብቋቸዋል። በነገራችን ላይ ምስሎቹ ካመለጧችሁ የዩቲዩብ ቻናላችን አባል መሆንና መከታተል ትችላላችሁ። አሁንም ጥሩ ጊዜ ይሁንላችሁ። ከቤት ኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ጋር
Well, we're coming back into the second half of the Sheger Derby, the Coffee versus St. George Derby in the Ethiopian Premier League. The halftime score in favor of St. George. And with the rain still drizzling down, the conditions are going to be the same. As far as the technical play is concerned in this game, and the physicality that it needs to be able to get yourselves through is still going to be challenged by everything that we have at the stadium today. So, okay, Tani Gebede has not gotten onto the scoreline. He's had two glorious chances. He's got 11 goals to his credit. And the chances that have come to him have not helped him much in that. Beamlak Tasema is the man in charge of this game. He's an internationally accredited referee and has handled him very, very well. Handled it very, very well. He's issued 2 yellow cards to 2 men who are feuding earlier on. He's got the responsibility of controlling it for another 45 minutes then, before we know who will take the bragging rights in this one. The reverse fixture, like I told you earlier on, was won by Ethiopia Buna 3-2. Now, in comparison to the statistics, and we say those only count for as far as statistics count, not in the game itself. The St. George side should be having the bragging rights in this one. 55 titles they have against the 12th that the Ethiopia Buna have. But again, they are the oldest club in the Ethiopian Premier League. The establishment in 1935 of the team is what has helped that statistic to be in their favor. We'll go into the game now and see who then will have made the correct changes for the second half. That might just help them to go through it. As Mr. Tasema synchronizes his watches and signals to the assistants as well to confirm that they're okay with everything that is going on here. And I'm not exactly sure what we're waiting for, but I think the assistant is checking the net here. There wasn't any complaint on it. It's probable that there's also a substitution that is in the offing for the St. George side that we are waiting for. And they could be bringing in Emmanuel Terfu.
Actually, the Buna side.
Sorry, on the Buna side, Emmanuel Terfu. And I'll confirm to you as well who has been replaced in that space. So 1-0 in favor of the Coffee. It's in favor of the St. George side. With Ashley Utamene, the man who was caught earlier on. This is going to be a free kick that has already been given to the St. George side. Marcos Elias and Jonas Azeze will take you through the commentary now. Marik and I am Bernardo Tieno, and with Gilbert we'll take you through the 45 minutes of this one. With St. George, or rather Coffee, looking for a chance for a shot towards goal here. That is not very well done, and the closest man to come to the goalkeeper is Abtamu Tadese. But that's a good pick from Baro Negash, not having a problem with it. There it is then. William Solomon is off the field of play. But
I think it's Fikri Jesus.
We'll wait and see what has happened on that, as a chip goes into the box. And St. George will pick it up on the left side again. Fikri Jesus Birhan, yes, is the one who has come into play. It's the Ethiopia Buna side that have made a substitution, and Fikri Jesus Birhan is coming to the play. We'll see what his impact will be in the game so far. What do you expect in the second half, Gilbert? You said a lot of things at halftime. I didn't know what to pick up for it, as Abubakar Nasser gets past his marker. I think the referee says there has been a foul here. And he gives it to the St. George side, categorically denying Abubakar Nasser that only chance that he has gone through the defender. And he was popping the ball into the net. You'll get a chance to see it again. Here it is again.
Well,
yeah, it trips the defender.
It trips Tamenes Helu.
That's the same thing that would have happened if it was the striker who's being tripped. If any of the defenders runs in that direction diagonally and clips them, it becomes a foul.
Yeah, but a very good, very intelligent run, Bernard. You know, Tamene is going on one side, and Abubakar decides to, lift the ball over his head to go to another side.
Yeah, it's just that clash of feet that becomes then a foul on that side. Well, I wonder how they're going to be playing it, because right now then the St. George side will be attacking in the places that are least favorable. They'll have to go into those dark patches lots of time. Dunya's runs will be of good consequence for them. Disame Brate might as well release the ball earlier, because that's the only good playable part of the field on that right side. He can't be able to bring in the crosses from there. Otherwise, then it goes back into the other darker patches. You'll even notice the color of the ball changing. Now it's bright. Almost leaving it for a chance for a shot here. Enough men going for it. The deflection sends it over the bar.
That ball was meant for
it's going to be a corner here. But why are they not having the communication here? He took the shot woefully. They wouldn't allow him to go for a second shot.
They wouldn't allow, and that has been the mainstay of Ethiopia Buna. Godmene Dereje and Abebe Telawon playing with the ball in very dangerous spots.
Kebede is complaining about it. He thinks that he should have been given a better ball there. It's a corner for St. George. They are leading by 1-0 here. This is headed out of the field of play. Again, Itani Kebede getting involved in it. He's the captain of the side. And he's the man who's scored the most number of goals from the side as well. He's got 11 to his credit. But that one doesn't go well for him. It's going to be a foul here. That's what I meant. The ball changes color when it gets into those dark patches. It just means that it becomes even harder to move it. When it gets to the finer part of the field, you'll see an almost whitewash on it. It becomes brighter because the grass is wet, and it helps it to move further. Nasser. And down on the right side, on a left foot shot, takes a little bounce off the field, off the ground, but it doesn't trouble the goalkeeper at all.
Well, that is from Solomon Tefese. He takes the ball, that is Abubakar Nasser. Good pass, takes it to the favorite foot. Good shot, good technique, but it's a weak one. It's a very, very weak one.
That bounce is what I was talking about. The ball just suddenly changes direction a bit. Here is a chance to beat the goalkeeper. Ebel Mama recovers on time. This needed a little touch to be able to send it onto the net. It goes out for a corner. Put out in a cautionary measure. As Gitani Kebede was approaching together with Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael, who actually had his head onto that ball. So St. George pushing the 6th corner here and pressing the Ethiopia Buna side. Now, I'll just mention it one more time that the dynamics of this game have been totally changed by the state of the field after the rains this afternoon. No point of that at all, and this is Mr. Tsema totally removing Ashley Otamene from that. From the time he scored the goal, he's gone into the game with a little bit more goalball than normal.
Well, Emmanuel should have gone down at this particular point. Again, he puts the ball right to the goalkeeper's feet. That's the second time with a golden opportunity, I would say.
Yeah, the shot not very good enough. Comes back into the midfield for the Ethiopia Buna side. It's been cut back into their own area of defense. With Tunjo trying to get some wing play. And obviously being helped by Abtamu Tadese. Adunya cuts it out for a throw. It's going to be for the Ethiopia Buna side. Referee says come and start it from the correct position. And Frank Natal knows that this game is far from over for him. I mean, the 1-goal cushion at the moment in a derby, in the conditions, is really nothing in a game like this one. So he's got to urge his men to probably go and take another lead if they can. Add another goal to the lead. Adunya cuts it out again for a throw-in. He's working extra hard, Mr. Enoch Adunya. He knows the danger. Here is Nasser Abubakar. And Tadese. And leaves it to Asra Tunjo, who gets a return pass, but it doesn't get into the position for a return pass.
You know, they are trying to make the little triangles in the box, and this is an area where the ground is a little bit slippery, and any good shot from either of those attackers into the goal could definitely go into the net or create problems for St. George.
That seems to be what the coaches are saying as well, with Frank Natal also telling his men to organize themselves in readiness for those kinds of shots that could come in from any side. Tadese, cut out by Kebede. It's going to be a throw-in for Ethiopia Buna. Astra Tunja quickly takes it, trying to get Abubakar Nasser. The entire play up at the front is revolving around Abubakar Nasser. None of the conditions, if Abubakar Nasser doesn't get the feed, then the entire attack is in jeopardy. Solomon is veered off onto the left side. Oh, this is Mikias Mekonen, I beg your pardon. Trying to get it to again Abubakar Nasser and waiting for too long. Because Birhan takes too much time. He's come into the game earlier today. He came in the 73rd minute against Sabeta. And remember, he got injured in the 23rd minute when he was playing Didadawa. So today he's come in slightly earlier, but doesn't deliver the feed. Oh, they're running to try and get the ball out there. The coaches have a very difficult job sometimes, especially when the conditions are like this.
Yeah, that's it. That's the reason why most of the coaches don't have hair.
Really?
Right at the top of their head.
Why?
Because of, scratching the head all the time.
Really? So I should do that a little bit, and probably I don't need to go to the barbers then.
But you don't have hair, Bernard.
No. This one's at the front. No, what I'm just saying is I could save some money from the barbers if I keep scratching my hair. I think I'm going to try that. Looking for how to save in this current situation. If scratching the hair a bit there. Well, then obviously Nasser doesn't scratch his hair a lot. He's got a lot of hair up at the front there. He's going to be taking this one. Abubakar Nasser. This man is a gem to have in your team. He's got 2 goals in the last match that he played. Whistle goes, Bemlek Taseva. Good delivery by Abubakar Nasser, but directly into the goalkeeper. He's not a specialist in the free kicks, and I think he should have left it for the specialist and wait for the rebound. He does better with the rebounds in there, doesn't he?
Absolutely. At that point, you need somebody with a lot of power on the feet. And I was hoping Abebe Telawon should have been the one to take the shot.
Dunya with a quick return to his defender. And then gets it back as well. They haven't used that wing for a long time. And the clearance sends it off the field of play. Seems to be a little bit of a pinch there on Gadisa Mebrate. This was a good application, but no power in it, and very obvious choice of where to place it. It was going to be taken very easily by the goalkeeper, so it didn't trouble him at all. It's gone on to the other side for a throw-in for the St. George side. Adunya is one taking it. I think he runs out of options and just decides to fling it up for anyone to challenge for it. Well, the takeoff by Abubakar Nasser is one of his strengths when he's playing football. Just can leave you flat-footed. A very good burst of speed and a very good reaction every time the ball goes away from him. Tadesse will get a corner, no doubt about it. When the ball veers off in that direction, you know there's been a touch on it. You don't even need to really challenge for it. It's going to be for the Ethiopia Buna side. So Astra Tunjo, I think, is the man who's going to be taking it. 9 corners that we're seeing in this game so far. Very high one, floated. It goes out for another corner. Headed out by the defenders. And they start a very quick one on the right side of the attack. Comes down to Tafesa Solomon and then Astra Tunjo with Tafesa Solomon. Totally misses to get a contact on that ball and has also fouled Eric Adunya. That will stop short the attacks coming down on this side, Gilbert.
Yeah, and Tafese Solomon using a lot of gulbat in this quarter. He misses the whole ball. And as you've said, it's in the right place. It is, the color of the ball can be seen now. And I think he just took his eyes off the ball at that particular point in time.
It's dangerous to miss the ball like that. Injuries have come out of that. It's not even a laughing matter. It has happened, because you a little bit of physics tells you that when there's a force in one direction, remember there's another force coming from the other direction. You've got to meet the ball with the correct exertion of the force so that you don't get injured. But when you miss like that, the absence of the other force can fling your foot in a very, very bad direction and injury as well. And that's what happened at that moment. So really should have mentioned that. It happens in a game of football, but a lot happens as well. Bebetilao tries to head this out. It's going to be a foul. And this is to St. George as well. Mulualem Tasfen is the aggrieved party here, with that boot of Dese going into his, Tafese Solomon going into his abdomen.
He's really
actually on his shoulder.
Yeah.
That's too high.
It's too high. That's a high boot.
I don't think he needs to go that far. Could just wait and control the ball there. It's going to be a free kick here. And very muddy area in which this is going to be played. Ebel Mamo has been able to pull off some very good saves for the Ethiopia Buna side, and will probably be called on again in this one, which goes directly towards his area. I think it takes a little bit of a bump from one of the defenders. Yeah, his own. No.
Very good delivery.
He's bumped into it. I don't know what decision will be given that. I think it's going to be a foul, but he's bumped into at that moment, and it goes down. What do you think Natal is intimating at?
Well, I think Natal knows that the set pieces are half chances, and therefore he needs to ask his players to convert those balls. And it's very, very evident Abel Mamo fails to come out to deal with the ball, and his defenders also
He comes out,
struggling.
but he doesn't deal with the ball.
He doesn't deal with it.
Yeah, and I think it's Frimpong Mensu who bumps into him, causing him some injury as he was trying to angle down for that ball. No doubt it's going to be a foul on the goalkeeper. And it's going to be given to the Ethiopia Buna side. 60th minute of the game, and it's become very uncertain about what's going to happen to it because of the conditions. That's the testimony of just how muddy it is in the goal area. And that's the extra challenge that has been thrown into this game for both sides in the derby. For Frank Natal, it's his first derby as well. He needs to guide his team to better tidings. They drew 0-0 with Sebeta. That was under his watch. They drew 1-1 with Awasa as well. And previously they had drawn with Diredawa, lost to Fasil, and the last win was the 4-3 win against Walkite. 7-goal thriller that we watched in that match. Now he's got to make them look like contenders for anything here. They pick it up again, trying to make the runs on the right side. And that doesn't go too far, does it, Gilbert? It doesn't go too far.
Mulualem trying to go through a maze of legs, but again it's just stopped because of the state of the field and good workmanship by the Ethiopia Buna side.
Just going to be bounced back to the Ethiopia Buna side. It doesn't even bounce off. Well, that's a bench on the Buna side. Oh. Spirited run by Gadisa Mebrate, but he's not watching where the ball is going to go to, so continues for about 5 meters after the ball has gone off the field of play. He was hoping to see it bounce in front of him. It's back into the midfield now. And again, a little push coming from there. That has been cut off, so Ethiopia Buna pick it up again. Also looking for the options. Mikias Mekonen decides to keep possession and brings it to Tafese Solomon. That's the bigger man on this side who has been using his power to try and push the Ethiopia Buna side. You expected that he was going to take a shot, but instead Abtami Tadese tries to find anybody else to put the ball through. I don't think he had spotted a particular person he was going to give it to. Maybe that's what the coach is asking him, where he was going to take it to. What does he say? Lump them up at the front?
No, I think that is the St. George side coach trying to ask them to at least to keep the Ethiopia Buna players away from that penalty box.
But is signaling too high up there? Is he telling them to, you know, fly them into the midfield?
That is Natal. He's cautioning his players.
I know. I'm asking what he wants them to. Oh, okay, he's telling them to take care of the blind side.
The blind side.
Ebel Mamo is not feeling very well after that bump that came in from Frimpong Mensu. And for the coach of the Ethiopia Buna side, Kasaya Rage, is wondering what else he needs to do. Natal is issuing instructions here. That's the way it stands at the moment. Ethiopia Coffee are a good 12 points behind Fasil, with Baradar in between them and the next team, St. George, is in a worse situation. Frimpong, who bangs into the goalkeeper.
Yes, with the right leg, and
it hits onto the rib cage.
Yes,
it's probably just above the hip as well. So that joint, just below the rib cage and next to the hip, will force the substitute goalkeeper to warm up. And Tekla Mariam Shanko has been on the bench for a good number of matches, even though he is the man who is in the national team. There's always been a question about why he's still left on the bench. It's a question that we still didn't answer, Gilbert, and yet we know that he's a national team player. Is it because he's giving a chance to Abel Mamo to shine, or what?
Well, I've never understood the mechanics behind putting Tekla Mariam Shanko on the bench in the club and giving him a first choice goalkeeping in the national team. I've really not understood why.
He's played only 8 matches, and we're talking about 17 matches played so far by the Ethiopia Buna side. Abel Mamo has done duty in 9 of them. That mathematics would definitely add up. 8 for Shanko, 9 for Abel Mamo. Now they're going to have to make a substitution for him after taking that hit. And being the goalkeeper, of course, he gets the benefit of being waited for. So Tekla Mariam Shanko will come into the field of play. The national team goalkeeper as well. Played recently in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. First choice goalkeeper as well. Still remains a little bit of a wonder why he gets left on the bench, while Abel Mamo is given a chance to shine up there. But he has already conceded 21 goals. Together they have conceded 21 goals. That's the goals against statistics. What do you think keeps him on the bench? Is it just the coach's choice, or the style of play?
It is the style of play, because Arage Kasaya wants a goalkeeper who can be able to build from the back, a goalkeeper who can be able to play on his feet.
And Tekla Mariam Shanko can't do that?
It's absolutely that should be the reason why he prefers Abel Mamo in goal than ahead of Shanko.
Okay, so what we know is that Abel Mamo can do what you've said.
Yes.
But what we don't know is whether Tekla Mariam Shanko can't do what you said.
That's exactly the reason.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll see.
He's not confident in building from the back.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We'll see whether that's the case here then, because they need to build it from the back, especially in the conditions they're playing in at the moment. This is going to be a throw-in. Dunya tries to get some leverage in the air with it. Then they don't get the chance to even cross it back. It's Kenyan Markne who was on that right flank. This is still in play. It's going to be a foul here. And it's going to be given to the Ethiopia Buna side. Kenyan Markne will be deemed to be the guilty man here. But you know, he just goes down. You can see him going down. 1 minute already just lies down.
He puts himself in a precarious position. Knocking the ball around in their box. It's a very, very dangerous area. And that's their style of play.
Even trying to clear it here.
Yeah.
Well, even just trying to clear it here, you could see the problems with the ball not moving as fast as they expected to. Abubakar Nasir will be fouled.
They will
and will get a free kick for his troubles. He started in the midfield. It's going to be restarted then, says the referee. He didn't start from the right place, so they started again. Tilahu now playing it onto the right. Very little going in terms of good build-up for attacks, but the passes completed statistics will be in favor of Ethiopia Buna. 251. It's a large number of 100 and something passes more on the other side as they bring it back to the middle. Oh, a little deflection coming off of Abubakar Nasir from the shot that was taken by Fikri Jesus Birhan. Not enough though to beat the goalkeeper. I think he equally notes that it's rolling off and just slides in its direction, not doing anything much. But there might have been a touch for a corner, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
There was a deflection, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a deflection, and that's the best way to do it. If you can't get into good scoring opportunities in the box, then those opportunities outside the box can also suffice for your strikers. So good shots with good technique will give you results.
Got just about 6 yellow jerseys in the box here. The biggest of the men in there then heads it out. Just happens to be Abel Yalel who headed it out. And for St. George to begin a build-up, it's not working out on that left side at all. They need to look for other options. Get a man on the ground here. Referee says top play. And now we're having a lot of stoppages in this game. With this having happened there. Coming back into the midfield. To the Ethiopia Buna side, down on the left side. Looking for a chance for a cross. It's been deflected out. Abtamu Tadese. They get a corner for the Troubles for the Ethiopia Buna side. This is already coming out for the St. George side. Pushed up at the front. Trying to get it to Emmanuel Gabriel Michael. It didn't get to him. And they're looking for the avenues to use the St. George side. It's difficult for them to come out. Mulualem finds a little space, then Tilahun tries to cut it out. He will get a throw in for his side. And this goes out again. It's going to come out from the right side. This is pushed back into the midfield then. It's a big battle, to be honest. Very difficult to describe under the circumstances. And again, it is Mikias Bekonen will pick it up for the Buna side. And this one was almost going into the net as Nasir brings one of the best crosses he has ever been able to provide for somebody else. And I think the celebration started slightly earlier for Abtamu Tadese. How did he miss that?
That's a good run.
Abakar Nasir becomes a provider here.
That's a good run. It's a good run, and the ball is right in between the goalkeeper and the incoming defender. He should have done better, at least.
Well, he's losing his footing after the touch on the ball. You could have blamed the slipperiness, but he's slipping after. I think he wanted to touch it nicely. And he just doesn't put it in the net. It's a story of the one that didn't go in.
It's good goalkeeping by Barnegash.
This is back into the Ethiopia Buna side. Oh, they're going to get a free kick here. Back into the defense for the Ethiopia Buna side, who now are challenging to try and get back into this game. Tunjo is obviously going to try to get some space on the line to use. Jesus Birhan brings it all the way back to Abebe Tilahun. They're even working it with speed, especially when they get to an area where they think they can work the balls better. This is a chance to look for a cross in by Mikias Mekonet. He's rolled back into a difficult situation. Tilahun will come to press further. So that's a shot from a distance. Abubakar Nasir almost gets into it. Doesn't trouble Barunegash. For Aragi Kasai, he thinks the moment is nigh. He thinks it's almost there, doesn't he?
I mean, it's absolute that they are managing the game, and especially on the better side of the pitch. Ethiopia Buna playing like the team that we've known it to.
Going into the water break. Tells you we're going into the last quarter of the game here. It's a derby. It's still in favor of St. George, 1-0. Barunegash will probably look at himself and wonder where he was rolling in the mud, but there's been a lot of action coming to him. It's all live for you on your World of Champions. It's coming to you from the Diradawa International Stadium. Ethiopia nil, St. George 1. It's still playing. There's about 20-something minutes still remaining here. But how has it been played then? There's a lot of attacks going now to the St. George side more than it's going to the Ethiopia Buna side.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the attack analysis, St. George 56% in the midfield, 33% on the right-hand side, and minimal action coming on the left-hand side. On Kofi side, 50%. Most of the balls are actually coming towards Abtamu Tedeste, and they've been combining extremely well with Abubakar Nasir and Mikas Meknon. 16 goal attempts with only 11 shots on target. It really does not paint a good picture of what is happening on the field. And 63% total ball domination by Ethiopia Buna, with St. George sitting back in the second half with 37%. It just shows you that they want to sit back, soak the pressure, and try to hit on the counter.
Well, 16 goal attempts is a lot to count in a game. And if you're looking at the ones that were on target, very few of them. This is the one that resulted into goal. It takes the post on the right side of the goalkeeper and then veers back into the net. It came off the defender, Ashale Otamene. I think now there's going to be a substitution. So it looks like Abel Yaleo will now come into play. And he has replaced Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael. Another cross coming in for the Ethiopia Buna side. It could just be because of fatigue on the part of Emmanuel Gabriel Mikael. It's a very heavy pitch to be able to play in. And Ethiopia Buna don't have the fortune. The first half looked a better side playing it on this side. Now they are the ones attacking from that side, and it's not looking as good as it did in the first half. Just looking for a shot from the outside. Too heavy a shot from Yabikal Fareja. That's not even optimism, that's just extravagance. Sent it too far up as well, Gilbert, didn't he?
Well, I think he brought in his defensive elements in the forward line, and that's a poorly taken shot from Yebika Ferreja, the right back on the Ethiopia Buna side.
Barunegash is going to start it for the St. George side. And wants to send it deep. Chested down by Ethiopia Buna, who are totally dominating the midfield as well. Never mind the fact that there's a good number of St. George players there as well. But the difficulties of just navigating the muddy areas of the field have made the Ethiopia Buna look better in getting the balls out of there. It takes a totally different color when the ball goes in that area. And it refuses to move. It gets cleaned up when it goes onto the grassy areas that have gotten a little bit of water as well. A long ball down on the right side for the new substitute. And Abel Yaleo has got a chance to bring in the cross. He brings a very long one. He's trying to find Gadisa Mebrate on that side. But you can understand he's still got a lot of go-but in him when he comes into this game.
Absolutely, he's got a lot of energy in him, and I think the weight of the pass is very, very important, especially when the passes are very, very minimal to come by.
A very long one that was intended for Abtamu Tedese. It won't get to him. It's going to go back to Barunegash, who will want to start it as quickly as he can. Rolls it down to Enoch Adunya. Wow, that deflection. Going to be signaled off for an offside on Kenea Makne. Yeah, when the deflection comes off for the header, he's already in the offside position.
Absolutely.
So he loses that one. The coaches leave it about it. He thinks that would have been the sweetest of the through balls, but yeah, it's got to be in the legal sphere for it to work. It just might have another chance to bring the attack again. Good run down on the left side. Looking for a chance for a cross here. Mebrate just pushes it a little bit too far. And it's the St. George side who's looking for an option. The Ethiopia Buna side now is looking for an option. This will go all the way out of the field of play. And that's going to be a goal kick for the side. This is the one they were looking for a foul here, but it wasn't given. They made a substitution. And we'll see whether that will work for them as well. Difficult times on the field of play. As Ethiopia Buna will try to send it back to the goalkeeper. And for St. George, they have Bira Tesfaye in the game at the moment. Tesfaye scored the second goal against Adama. I think that's why they want him to come and redeem himself and show that he's a good player. So he's in the field together with Abel Yaleo as probably the newest, fresh two pairs of legs in the field. Almost trying to get it away from Redouane Nasser. From 1 minute Dereje, I beg your pardon. It's going to be a quick free kick. Ethiopia Buna still want to play it the same way they always play, Gil, but not hurrying, just playing it on their side. But the St. George side is in much of a hurry to dispossess them.
You've realized that anytime they're facing their goal, they're scared of giving Tekle Mariam the ball, Shanko, in goal.
Yeah, they're not getting it back to him. Why?
Yeah, but now it answers your question.
What was my question?
I mean, the
I have many questions.
Yeah, the comfortability on the ball.
But at one point or the other, he's going to have to change that because they are going to get the ball back to him. It's good to know. It's good to know his weaknesses. They know his weaknesses, but they've got to help him work out the weaknesses as well, because St. George are on the marauding attack again on the left side. Redouane just saving it from going off the field of play, and then Ethiopia Buna getting a chance to come out with speed. And this goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Tekle Mariam Shanko. So far to me, doing very well. I mean, he's had like 2 touches on the ball, and if you ask me, the 2 touches would constitute statistically to 100% pass completion.
Absolutely. When there was no danger. There was no danger at all.
I had a chat with the statistics man, and I know now how they do these things as well. This is to Ndale. Yes, Bira, I beg your pardon. Losing his footing as he's trying to take off.
That was a chance, Bernard. He has a very good fast touch, and I'm not sure why he's wobbling and heading to the ground.
They've got to get over that urge of just falling in the box to be able to play in that box. When that urge will go, then we'll see a little bit of good ball control in there. But at the moment, it overtakes everybody. This is a foul here. The new man on the field, Abel Yaleo, is going to get a yellow card because of that bump that he had there. Simply bumping into 1 minute Dereje and bumping him off the rails completely. Now 1 minute looks like he's been pulled right through the mud, but he literally had to pull himself there after he was brought down. The St. George side are pushing. They're not staying back to defend whatever they have at the moment. They know it's a derby. That's Adunya. Abel Yaleo gets the return ball and is out on the right side now, getting into the box. He's pushed it a little bit too far as well. He can't pick it up from the defender. And Abtabu Tadesse does well. They do well to stop him. Abtabu Tadesse comes to help. But that top is the only one that came in between the St. George attack and a chance to actually score a goal here. Here's another one, but offside. The flag is up. The referee blows the whistle now. Oh, they're playing dangerous with the ball in their area. They should remove them as quickly as they can. Abel Yaleo is unmarked here and he's not offside.
He is.
He is finally offside. Yes,
he
does. Didn't need to play the ball at that point. Adunya keeps it in play. And now that means that he's got to get back to his position quickly, getting the return ball. The conditions making it very, very difficult. Now, this is going to be a goal kick, because the last touch comes off Fikresius Viran, who was down on the ground.
Yeah.
He hadn't recovered from a tackle that went to him earlier.
Yeah, I think that was a pass from Abtabu Tadesse.
Arage Kasai thinking about how else to play it. It's back into the midfield then. And down on the right side. He'll be looking for a line there. This is one of the most waited for clashes in the Ethiopian Premier League. And the very first time that it's being played out of the city of Addis Ababa. But of course, you do know that it's the very first time that it's being played in the absence of fans because of the COVID protocols as well. But so intense is it that there were a good number of people that were ready to travel to watch it in the city of Dire Dawa. And one of the men who made his way to the stadium in Dire Dawa is the Addis Ababa Sports Commission Vice Commissioner Dawit Terfu. Seated on the other side, couldn't quite get him. But he has come to watch the derby because the Shagar derby. Good back heel by Abubakar Nasser, still keeps it in play then. Dunya doesn't want it to stay anywhere near him. Kebede tells his men, let's go for it, we've got possession. And then this was quickly meant for Mbene Dereje, who had gone into a little bit of a nap there. He wasn't expecting it to come to himself. Gilbert, why are you laughing at this, man?
No, I'm not laughing. I think what Mbene Dereje was not expecting that pass from.
Yes, of course he wasn't expecting it. You want to laugh at Mbene, I don't know why. It took him by surprise. Plus the fact that he's taken a dip in the mud, you know, it makes for some very comical look that he had when he was going to come to that ball. It's back into the midfield. How Abebe Tilaun has remained, at least with his jersey still very, very clean, is a wonder. Well, the other of the defenders look like they've come from battle, including Redwan Nasir, who sends it out on the right side. And Buna, Ethiopia Buna, honestly looking for an option here. They're looking for just how they can get into this game at about this moment. Mr. Sema wants the ball to be played as quickly as possible and no wasting of time, which he thinks Baru Negash is engaging in. He's given him a verbal caution. Kasaya Rage still struggling to find that solution that might help him go through, because he knows his players are very technical and very good, Gilbert, but the field can't allow for it.
It can't allow, and I think at this particular point in time, he should have allowed Abubakar Nasser to play as a decoy, because the only route out is through Abubakar Nasser, and he's really been marked very, very well by Tamene Ashalu and Frimpong Mensah.
Well then, you'll be exploring those options. Once you use him as a decoy, it means you need to have other strikers as well. This one just veers off target with a little touch coming from Tekna Mariam Shanko that will make it a corner from the St. George side. First time that he's being tested, pulls himself almost to the maximum to be able to get a touch on that ball. It's going to be a corner. Well, St. George will not be in a hurry to take it. They know they've got about 5 minutes remaining, in 4 minutes, 3 minutes if you'd like, in regular time remaining here. Well, the sooner they do, probably the better. It might just be the fortunes that will turn for them. An outswinger, headed out, bumped down on the ground brilliantly by Kebede, but then it just veers off target. But he gets his head to it and bounces it down just too close to himself. It should have bounced slightly away from him for a better result, Gilbert.
Well, they really know how to get into open spaces, and the deliveries for St. George side, especially on set pieces, have been on point. Kebede should have turned that one around.
Well, he tried to, but it evades him as well. Frimpong Mensah just knows that he's got to remove it. Mensah knows he's got to remove it from his area. Yaleo plays it back into the midfield. And then this one's taken away from Aida Sharifa. Good ball to Tadese, who tries to get Abubakar Nasser. But Mensah is a man who is topping him every time, getting into literally every ball that is meant for him. Yadisa Mebrate. And chested down for Shanko, who picks it up very easily. He'll be coming out on the right side with Abebe Tilahun. We're 2.5 minutes in regular time, and we probably will have another 1 or 2 minutes in added time as well. This is pushed out onto the right side and off the field of play. It's going to be a throw-in. We are having another substitution as Frank Natal watches what changes are being made. He probably is thinking about how to counter that as well. This shot is the one that pushed Shanko, that fingertip touch, sending it out for a corner. It looks not dangerous, but I tell you, when it's coming towards the goalkeeper, it's probably the most dangerous shot. The one that has beaten the goalkeeper is usually the most dangerous one. It's too long a ball, intent for the right side. It's going to go out. They made a substitution. Did you see that, Gilbert?
Yeah. I think Mika's Mekinon has paved way for Ndale de Balke, jersey number 16. He's also a striker. They've decided to bring in at least a new force with a different version in the style of play to see whether they can be able to permeate that St. George defense line.
Well, they're bringing him in very little time remaining. And Ali Debake scored in the 83rd minute. So he's come in 5 minutes later than when he scored against Diradawa. Probably wanting him to push himself into the game. Tilahun. It's very easily dealing with this one, but not sending it too far off. It's picked up in the midfield. Kebede was almost getting himself into an unnecessary tackle because of the loss of possession here. Nasir has also come back in the midfield, trying to evade the tackles here as well. Going to be a foul here on Nasir. On a free kick to the Ethiopia Buna side. Would you say it's still living up to its billing, Gilbert, even with the minutes that are remaining in it?
This game is far from over, Bernard.
Is it?
It is far from over. Ethiopia Buna still, trying to get their mark on this one. They've released Abubakar Nasir to come and play as a typical number 10, and the Balke to playing as a striker at the top.
Oh, just a little change that will take off the attention from Abubakar Nasir.
Yeah.
And we'll see whether that will help him out a little. Kasaya Rage knows that, again, things might not be working on his side here, in as much as he's got the better statistics in this game. Ethiopia Buna side having won 3 out of 5. Are trailing this game at the moment, with St. George leading it. 1-0. The goal scored in the 12th minute of the game by Ashley Otamene. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to be for St. George. For Ethiopia Buna, I beg your pardon. Is foul given?
Well,
they need to have some progressive play.
They're trying really hard, and they've decided that to take matters in their own hands. That is Yebi Kalfareja, the right back, and try to do it on himself.
It's very dangerous to take matters in your hands in football, because that would be a handball. Unless you're the goalkeeper, you're encouraged not to take matters in your own hands. A stop for another substitution here. And it's for St. George. They're going to get out Getani Kebede, I think. He's probably just tired himself out. He gives away the captain's armband, but he's urged to get out from the nearest of the places. Who takes his place?
Saladin Said.
Saladin Said.
That's one other very, very dangerous striker. Extremely dangerous.
Goes to Tekle Mariam Shanko. This goes back to Tekle Mariam Shanko. Into the midfield with Abubakar Nasser. Time quickly rolling past for the Ethiopia Buna side, with St. George leading it, and just a couple of seconds remaining in this. They're being careful not to commit any unnecessary fouls, the St. George side. But in it as well, they're not removing the balls as quickly as they can. It's pushed up to the front. This is off the field of play. Is that the man who just came in then?
Yeah, that's Saladin Said.
He's got some very big credentials as well. Apparently one of the best Ethiopian strikers in recent memories.
Yeah.
We haven't seen much of him in the St. George front, so we expect him to bring in a little bit of action here. Well, the referee, Biamlek Tesema himself, making sure that nobody changes the course of this game. He knows he's got very little time remaining here to be able to finish it in a very good note. That's the final whistle. And a yellow card has been given to a very frustrated Tafesa Solomon, who kicks the ball after the
red card.
Whistle has gone.
It's a red card. He had a yellow card.
Because he had a second yellow card,
yes,
it turns into a red, and Tafesa Solomon will miss the next game. He had another yellow card in the 43rd minute. So the second yellow card after the game in the 93rd minute. Oh, Tafesa Solomon didn't need to do that at all. But that's the way it happens, and he was very frustrated here. The whistle goes, picks up the ball. That is supposed to be dissent as well. Gets a second yellow card in the 93rd minute of the game, and that translates into a red card. And Tafesa Solomon is out of the next match for the Ethiopia Buna side. An extra ingredient was thrown into the derby, and that's the state of the field. It's been very difficult to be able to navigate some of the areas of the field, so the bragging rights will go back to the St. George side. But today, in a very, very difficult match, the first one played outside of Addis Ababa in history, and the header coming from Ashley Otamen in the 12th minute is the one that got the ball into the net and changed the course of the game, and it has stayed like that right up to the end. The Tani Kebede had to give away the captain's armband. The Shagar derby ends in favour of St. George at full-time, Coffee 0 and St. George 1.
ተመልካቾቻችን የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስና የኢትዮጵያ ቡና ጨዋታ በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አሸናፊነት ተጠናቋል። የሸገር ደርቢ ጨዋታ እንግዲህ ድሬዳዋ ላይ ነው የተደረገው። ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ከአዲስ አበባ ውጭ የተደረገ ጨዋታ ነበረ። ከጨዋታው በኋላ ሁሌም እንደምናደርገው እንግዲህ ከአሰልጣኞች ጋር ቆይታ እናደርጋለን። ስለዚህ ጨዋታ የነበራቸው ምልከታና እንዲሁም ጨዋታውን የጀመሩበት ቴምፖ ባቀዱት መንገድ ሄዷል ወይ የሚለውን ሐሳብ በማንሳት እንጀምራለን። እንደ ተመለከታችሁት አስቻለው ታመነ ባስቆጠረው የግንባር ኳስ ነው እንግዲህ 1-0 በሆነ ውጤት ጨዋታውን አሸንፎ የወጣው። ጌታነህ ከበደ በዘንድሮ የውድድር ዓመት እንግዲህ በጎል አስቆጣሪነት ቻርት ውስጥ ነበረ። ነገር ግን ባለፉት ጨዋታዎች ላይ ወደ ጎል አስቆጣሪነት መምጣት አልቻለም። ነገር ግን በዛሬው ጨዋታ ጥሩ እንቅስቃሴ ሲያደርግ እንደነበረ የሚታወቅ ነው። አስቻለው ታመነን በስክሪኑ እየተመለከትነው እንገኛለን። በዛሬው ጨዋታ እንግዲህ የማሸነፊያውን ጎል አስቆጥሯል። ለሱ ጎል በማመቻቸት ደግሞ በግራ መስመር በኩል ጥሩ እንቅስቃሴ ሲያደርግ የነበረው ጋዲሳ መብራቴን ማንሳት እንችላለን። አሰልጣኝ ፍራንክ ናታል አብረውን ቆይታ ያደርጋሉ። ለቀጣዮቹ ደቂቃዎች ከኮች ጋር እንግዲህ በማድረገው ቆይታ ሀሳባቸው የምትሰሙ ይሆናል። በመጀመሪያ first congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You started the first game with intensity and scored a goal. Was your plan working?
Of course, that's what you're trying to do. We intended to start at high tempo on a difficult pitch, a tough pitch for both teams, and it worked. And you know, first half in particular, we had some more chances as well to make it a little bit clearer for us. A couple of chances second half, but overall, I think we deserved the victory. And but I have to say, well done to both teams for working very, very hard and trying to put on entertainment on a very, very difficult pitch. So. It was, we're just very happy to get the victory.
Will it be your playing style for the next games?
No, it goes from game to game, you know.
Yeah.
We've got how many games left now? 7. So we just take it game by game. I've looked a little bit at the opposition for the next game, but first and foremost, what we'll do is we'll enjoy this, we'll recover, and get ourselves prepared, ready for the next game, and then we'll look at how we set up for the next game.
Who will be your best player in this game?
Oh, I have to say, I asked for 11 leaders.
Yeah.
Today I asked for them to have 11 captains, 11 leaders, and I have to say that every one of them, plus the substitutes that came on, gave everything for the club and for St. George, so I couldn't pick out anyone, to be honest.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Cheers.
ኮች ፍራንክ ናተል ነበር ከሱፐር ስፖርት ጋር በቤትኪንግ የኢትዮጵያ ፕሪሚየር ሊግ ቆይታ ያደረጉት። ስለ ጨዋታው እንግዲህ የነበራቸውን ሐሳብ ሰጥተዋል። አሰልጣኙ የፈለጉትን ውጤት አግኝተዋል። እንግዲህ ዛሬ በተደረገው ጨዋታ 3 ጎሎች የተቆጠሩበት ነበረ። ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የዛሬውን ጨዋታ እንግዲህ 1-0 በሆነ ውጤት አሸንፏል። ፋሲል ከነማና ሲዳማ ቡና ደግሞ 1-1 በሆነ ውጤት ጨዋታቸውን አጠናቀዋል። ከአስቻለው ታመነ ጋር ቆይታ የምናደርግ ነው የሚሆነው። በዛሬው ጨዋታ እንግዲህ ቡድኑን ያሸነፈበትን 1 ጎል ማስቆጠር ችሏል። አስቻለው ታመነ የኢትዮጵያ ብሔራዊ ቡድንም እንዲሁም ደግሞ የቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ የተከላካይ መስመር ተጫዋች ነው። ለተከላካዮች ከመከላከል ዞናቸው ወጥተው ወደ ማጥቃት ዞን ገብተው ጎል ሲያስቆጥሩ የሚሰጠው ስሜት እጅግ በጣም ከፍተኛ ነው። ስለዚህ ከአስቻለው ጋር ማድረገው ቆይታ በዚህ ነው የሚጀምረው። ምን አይነት ስሜት ነበረው ጎል ማስቆጠሩ በዚህ ደርቢ ጨዋታ?
ያው ስሜቱ በጣም የተለየ ነበረ፣ ደስ የሚል ነው። ያው በኔ ጎል ማሸነፋችንም እጅግ በጣም ደስ ብሎኛልና በጣም ደስ የሚል ስሜት ነው። ደርቢ ላይ ስታስቆጥር ደስ ይላልና የተለየ ስሜት ነው የፈጠረብኝ።
ከጨዋታው በፊት ሱፐር ስፖርት ሁለታችሁንም ኢትዮጵያ ቡናንም ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስንም ቃለ መጠይቅ አድርጎ ነበርና በሙሉ ልብ እናሸንፋለን ብለህ ነበረ። ያላችሁትን አድርጋችኋል። ዝግጅቱ ነው ለዚህ ዋጋ
አዎ ማለት እኔ ከጌሙ በፊት በተባረኩት ኢንተርቪው እንደምናሸንፍ እርግጠኛ ሆኜ ነበረ። አንደኛ ዙር ላይ ያጣነውን ውጤት ደጋፊያችንም ለመካስ በሙሉ ስሜት ነው የተነሳሳነው። ከቆየነው የትሬኒንግ ቆይታ አንፃር እንደምናሸንፍ እርግጠኛ ነበርና ያ ያስታውቃል፣ ያለው የቲሙ መንፈስ ላይ ያስታውቅ ነበርና እንደምናሸንፍ እርግጠኛ ነበርኩ። ለዛ ነው ከጨዋታው በፊት የተናገርኩት።
እንግዲህ ደጋፊ የለም በዚህ ስቴዲየም፣ በርካታ ደጋፊ ግን ውጭ ሆኖ እየተከታተለ ነው የሚገኘው። ዛሬ ለደጋፊዎች ምንድነው የምታስተላልፈው መልእክት?
ያው ማለት የደርቢ ጨዋታ ከአዲስ አበባ ውጪ የተደረገው ለመጀመሪያ ጊዜ ነውና ለደጋፊዎቻችን እንኳን ደስ አላችሁ ነው ማለት የምፈልገው። ያው በቦታው ባይገኙም ውጪ ሆኖ እንደሚከታተሉ እናውቃለንና በዚህ አጋጣሚ እንኳን ደስ አላችሁ ማለት ፈልጋለሁ። እንግዲህ
ጎል ሁሉ ጊዜም ላታስቆጥር ትችላለህ፣ አንዳንዴ ነው የምታስቆጥረው እንደ ዛሬ ማለት ነው። ለማን ነው የምትሰጣት እቺን ጎል?
ያው እቺን ጎል ለሶስት ነገሮች አብረ ለእናቴ እና ለምወዳት ጓደኛዬ እና ለደጋፊዎቻችን ይካፈሉት አንድም ብትሆን ትበቃለች።
አስቻለው ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ።
እሺ ቴንክ ዩ።
እንግዲህ ቀደም ሲል አስቻለው ታመነ ነው ቆይታ ያደረገው። በቆይታው እንግዲህ በቡድኑ ውስጥ የነበረውን ተነሳሽነትና የጨዋታ ስሜት ለማንሳት ሞክሯል። ቀደም ሲል እንግዲህ የተከታተላችሁ ጨዋታ 52 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር መሀል ክፍል ላይ ነበረ። 20 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ ሜዳ። ኢትዮጵያ ቡና አብዛኛውን የኳስ ቁጥጥሩን በጥድፊያ ለመውጣት ያልሞከረበት ጨዋታ ነበረ። በተለይም 28 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር ለመያዝ ሞክሯል። 13 የግብ ሙከራዎችን ቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ አድርጎ 7 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ፣ በኢትዮጵያ ቡና በኩል 6 ሙከራዎችን አድርጎ 5 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎችን አድርጓል። 63 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በኢትዮጵያ ቡና እንዲሁም ደግሞ 37 ከመቶ የኳስ ቁጥጥር በቅዱስ ጊዮርጊስ በኩል ነበረ። ከአሰልጣኝ ካሳያ አራጌ ጋር የምናደርገው ቆይታ እንግዲህ የሚቀጥል ነው የሚሆነው። በቆይታችን እንግዲህ ጥያቄዎችን የምናነሳ ይሆናል። ኮች ከልብ አመሰግናለሁ። እስከ 30ኛው ደቂቃ ድረስ አንድም የግብ ሙከራ ያላደረክበት ጨዋታ ነበር። ከዛ በኋላ ያው 5 ኢላማቸውን የጠበቁ ሙከራዎችን አድርገህ ነበር። 30 ደቂቃዎቹ በፕሪሚየር ሊጉ ጥሩ ጅምር ካላደረክባቸው ጨዋታዎች ውስጥ አንዱ ልንለው እንችላለን።
ከሐዋሳም ጋር የተጫወትነው ጨዋታ ተመሳሳይ ነበር። ከዲቻም ጋር የተጫወትነው ጨዋታዎች ተመሳሳይ ነበረ። አንዳንድ ጊዜ ያው ቲሞች የሚመጡበት መንገድ የራሳቸውን ቁጥር ራሳቸው ሜዳ ላይ አብዝተው ስለሆነ የግድ ቦታዎችን ለማግኘት መታገስ ያስፈልጋል። አንዳንድ ጊዜ ከፍቶ ልክ እንዳንተ የሚጫወት ቲም ሲኖር ክፍተቶች ታገኛለህ። እነዛን ክፍተቶች ትጠቀምባቸዋለህ። ግን በዚህ መልኩ ኤሪያውን ዘግቶ የሚመጣ ቲም ሲኖር ትክክለኛ የመሞከሪያ ቦታውን እስከምታገኝ ድረስ ጊዜ ሊወስድ ይችላል። ያ ነው ብዬ ነው የማስበው።
ዊሊያን ሰለሞን ባልተለመደ ሁኔታ ነው የቀየርከው ሁለተኛው ግማሽ ላይና እሱም በቀየርክበት ተጫዋች ውስጥ የምታገኘው ነገር ስላለ ነው የቀየርከው። ጉልበት የሚጠይቅ ጨዋታ ይመስለኝ ነበር።
አዎ ማለት ሜዳው ኳስ ይይዛል፣ ፓስም ስታረግ ድሪብልም ስታረግ። ስለዚህ እሱ በጣም የተመቸ አይነት ሜዳ ላይ ነው። ያለበለዛ ብዙ ንክኪ ትግል የሚጠይቀው አይነት ነገሩ ሲሆን ሊቸገር ይችላል። ብዙ ኳሶች እየቀሩበት ነበረ፣ እየወሰዱበት ነበር። ስለዚህ በዛ መልኩ ለመቀጠል ሜዳው አመቺ አልነበረም ለሱ።
ለዚህ ኢነርጂ ነው የፈለከው ማለት ነው?
አዎ አመቺ ስላልነበረ ለዛ ነው።
አመሰግናለሁ።
እኔም አመሰግናለሁ።
ከአሰልጣኝ ካሳያ አራጌ ጋር ያደረግነው ቆይታ እንግዲህ ይህንን ይመስል ነበር። ተመልካቾቻችን ቀጣይ ቆይታ የሚሆነው እንግዲህ ከጊልበርት ሰለቧ እንዲሁም ከዮናስ አዘዘ ጋር የምናደርገው ቆይታ ከጨዋታው በኋላ ሀሳቦችን ወደ እናንተ የምናደርስበት ይሆናል። በጨዋታው እንቅስቃሴ ውስጥ እንግዲህ ሁለቱም ቡድኖች ማግኘት የፈለጉትን ነገር በምን አይነት እቅድ ውስጥ ገብተው ተጫውተዋል የሚለውን ነገር ሰፋ አድርገን ለመመልከት እንሞክራለን። ዮናስ ካንተ ልጀምር። ሁለተኛው ግማሽ እንግዲህ እንደ መጀመሪያውም ግማሽ በጣም በግለት በኢንቴንሲቲ የተጀመረ ነበር ማለት ይቻላል። አንዱ